Let me go live. That'll probably help a lot.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, I forgot. I don't have 117 on. Why am I getting 42 FPS? Doesn't make any sense. Am I trying to stream too much? Okay, I'm gonna stop that streaming. But I'm gonna keep the replay buffer. Okay. FPS maybe? What if I just uncap it? That didn't work. Let's do 117. It just looks so much nicer. But my computer can't handle streaming. Streaming and recording and like, come on. Come on, computer, you can do it. I believe in you. You can do it, buddy. Please don't blow up on me. See, I did the draw distance down, MMA, blah, 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 VSync off. Okay, this will be fun.
Oh. There's been an update about the situation about the game. Uh-oh.
What up, boys? So with the recent roadmap...
I haven't seen anything about Ashes of Creation in a minute. It's been like a good few months.
Announcement, there is something people are focused on.
Why does his head look so big? Asmon's forehead looks massive.
On overshadowing the positives that were shown. So I want to get the controversy out the way first so we can focus on what matters. Farming copium and converting that to ad revenue to fuel my pizza addiction. But before we get into that, sit back, relax, and grab yourself a Cola, because $120 to test a game that quite literally doesn't exist is our subject of focus today.
That's right.
Being covered by, basically, all the creators not huffing Steven's farts. So let's discuss this, because I'm not quite sure why this is suddenly riling everyone's feathers. Ashes of Creation has been a cesspit of money-grabbing FOMO since day one. Now, with all that bollocks out of the way, let's begin, shall we?
I think one of the reasons why it happened is also because of the... Like, it's like a good one-to-one. When you look at, for example, Ubisoft charging like $120 or $130 for a finished game, and they're charging $120 to play an unfinished game. A lot of price frustration has to do with anchoring and value proposition. Like, in order to understand, like, the last thing that you should do when a person looks at a price and complains about it is change the price. That's my opinion. You need to change the value, and you need to change the way they look at that value.
I mean, they're offering, I don't understand, because like, you're obviously buying it to play the game early, and they don't want everyone to play the game early, so they put a price point.
So with
this is only for like testing, right?
the recent announcement of Alpha 2 keys returning at the colossal price of $120, $110, and $100 for their respective phases, which, by the way, for clarification's sake, as I see a lot of people confused about this, if you buy one phase, you do gain access to all future phases, as well as the beta phases, as confirmed by Steven on Reddit recently. But I digress.
But that was not the original launchment, and it was explicitly stated that getting into the alpha was not getting into the beta, and they changed it because of the negative feedback, which was smart, and they should have done that. That was a good decision.
A lot of interesting takes have been coming out from various outraged content creators.
I think that it's very obviously capitalizing on FOMO.
It's wild that we will be paying this sort of money to test someone's game for them.
Now that is quite high. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's quite a lot.
Like, yeah, but you don't have to get it.
Just for an alpha 2.
I've never seen a testing period phase sale as bad as this. Never.
Interesting takes, guys, but allow me to introduce you to 7 months ago, when the prices for these keys were actually pushed with a bunch of vaporware FOMO cosmetics for $250, and nobody bats an eyelid. FOMO,
It's
for
because
those
people didn't know about it. It's not because people were okay with it. It just wasn't talked about. Like, there's a lot of cases where things, like, get by. Like, this happens a lot with, like, emotes and, like, Twitch, where, like, somebody's emote gets reported, and then they show somebody else's emote. But the truth is that they were both breaking the rules, and the people only saw one of them. I don't think that it's an instance of, like, people being okay with one and not the other. I think the difference is that, and I think also another reason that the reason why people got mad about it is because of the doublespeak that Steven was using that a lot of people could kind of see. Like, for example, saying that it's not for access to the game, and it's like you're not playing a game. Well, then why is there a lowered price for each different tier that's based off of the time that you get into the game?
Wait, there are tiers? Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, the reason why is so you can capitalize on FOMO. They're creating FOMO as a value add and defining it themselves, which is fine. It's totally okay to do that, but don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. There's no FOMO, you retard. Oh, he got banned? Yeah. If there was no FOMO, you know who you should tell that to? You should tell that to the people that designed the pricing for the game. Yeah, just tell them that, because they're the ones that don't understand that. That's why they priced it that way.
For you who don't know, means fear of missing out. A very common and exploitative tactic used by the gaming industry and real-life retailers alike. It preys on natural human psychology to create false scarcity that drives you to make a purchase you might not have made for fear of, yes, you've guessed it, missing out on exclusive items.
Real shit.
Prior to Alpha 1, access to the game was being sold for $500. Also jacked up by a shitload of cosmetics that don't exist, and I've been stirring up a stink.
To be fair, access to the game was not sold. It was a purchase pack that if you supported it, it gave you access. So, and it was stated multiple times that buying this should not be seen as purchasing access to the game. It's just that if you give people the option to do something, you can't be surprised when they do it.
About this practice ever since back then. I simply do not agree with Ashes of Creation's monetization.
I guess it's just because I don't, like, care. I'm sure if you really care about this game and want to play it, like, I'm sure it is, like, you want to spend that money to play it just because you want to play it. But, it, like, from my perspective, I just don't care. So it doesn't, like... I can just wait for the game to come out and pay the regular price, you know what I mean?
Methods, and that's why I've never used any of their pyramid scheme style referral codes, and I will continue to never use.
Somebody says, how's your audience so poor? You know what I think? I actually think my audience is...
Sorry, that was funny.
A lot of money. I think a lot of my viewers are actually pretty well off. And the reason why I think that,
I think he's actually right, because I mean everyone's at least like 25. That means they probably have a job. At least.
Is because whenever
and then most people are like 30 to 35, so they're in their careers.
I would raise money for charities, we would blow everybody else out of the water and it wouldn't even be close. Like, we would 2 or 3x everybody else's money. A lot of my viewers are a lot older, and they make a lot of money. Like, when I went to the anime convention, do you want to know the 2 guys that I talked to the most? Was the guy that ran IT for the convention, and the guy that owned the convention center. They were viewers. So no, I don't think that it's a bunch of like my audience isn't poor, but that is the reason why they're upset about it, is because people that are well off and that have money understand the value of that money very well. That's one of the reasons why they have the money. They have better financial literacy.
Use them, but just take the bag, bro. Otherwise someone else will. Take what bag? You only get benefits when the game actually launches, and I'll be grave dust in my coffin by the time that happens. But Steven and his team have always claimed that they don't need our money, that the game is already fully funded by his infinite bank of holding, and that you should not purchase these keys.
The bottom line is, I am committed to this project's success and completion. And that means that when it comes to funding for the additional years that perhaps were not planned for, that's coming out of mine and John's pocket.
But then he'll gush in the very same live stream about how amazing this world boss is, how impressive these story arcs are, and how the game is starting to feel really great, guys. But that is just standard exploitative FOMO tactics. Here's the problem with these keys and why people don't agree with it. Intrepid changed the whole meaning of what this Alpha 2 was supposed to be, and what they spent 8 years selling it as. People who spent the money were expecting the Alpha 2 launch to be a fully persistent game as stated by themselves in their Kickstarter. And I quote, Alpha 2 phase is planned as a persistent testing phase of the game. This means access to the testing servers will remain open and available until launch. You can't just change the meaning of that 2 months before the launch, slap a $120 price tag on it, and think everyone is going to be okay with it.
I think our Alpha 2 has over 100.
Like, for me, that actually isn't even a concern. I think that Narc is bringing up a good point that I agree with, but to me, I feel like there are 4 stages of what I consider to be what should be a good MMO release. Outside of the unicorn standard of the game just comes out randomly and it's amazing. Alpha, beta, stress test weekend before the launch, and the launch of the game. And I feel like games that go through this, this standard, that is the good way of doing it. That's the smart way of doing it.
1,000 people that have purchased into it, so
it's the 4 stages of grief. Yeah, no, those are the 4 stages, and it's like, denial, and so you're still on stage 4, right? Where it's like bargaining or something like that, or, whatever. And then stage 5 is when the game releases, and then that's acceptance that it was actually bad, and you've invested your emotional energy into a bad game for 2 years. It's called New World.
Pretty significant testing.
Yeah, we were originally going 30,000.
I know.
Now it's...
Obviously, that explodes when we get closer to Alpha 2 testing.
Is the 100,000 testers you had back in January 2023 not enough testers for you to get proper feedback? What other developer has had the privilege of having over 100,000 testers to ensure their systems are presentable to the public? We're right off the back of massive Kickstarter scams like Chronicles of Valeria, Dream World, and Camelot Unchained. So it's paramount.
To be fair, Dream World was so astronomically bad, it's not even worth categorizing it as a game.
That Ashes of Creation avoids the same tropes these games went through or risk being labeled the same as them.
It was worse than Superman 64.
How good the game looks or how impressive their team is. A good game alone isn't enough to succeed in this age of social media. Large content creators can literally tear your game down at the whiff of some blood money. Your public perception matters a lot. Instead of learning...
Public perception matters a lot? But I will offer a counterpoint. The League of Legends Faker $500 skin. You don't want to know what matters even more? Is if the game is good and the product is being delivered to the audience in a way that they feel like they're being taken care of in. Content creators do not change opinions. Content creators might cultivate opinions slightly. They might be able to shift what people are thinking a little bit, but they're not going to be able to tell you that blue is green. The only thing they can say is maybe this blue is a little bit brighter than you initially thought it was.
Mistakes and growing as a company, like I'm trying to help them understand
Can't put
through various
lipstick on a
videos.
pig.
They choose to bury their head in the sand and pretend everything is okay. Everything is not okay, but it's okay to admit that. In every single one of my videos addressing community concerns, I explicitly state that we still support Intrepid and we hope that they take our concerns and learn from them, like they promised.
This is one of the most unhealthy things that games can have, is toxic positivity. I think that a really great example of this is when Genshin Impact never had a rested experience system at all. And then Honkai Star Rail brought in a new audience of people who didn't have the same type of cuckold conditioning that Genshin players did. And then they wanted rested experience, and then they immediately added it into the game. And I think that now it's either being added or it's already been added into Genshin as well. And so toxic positivity is actually in a lot of ways worse than toxic negativity. It hasn't. Not yet.
Would these
I think
last
they said they were
3
going
years.
to, right?
Nobody is asking Intrepid for dates on this roadmap. Nobody asked you, Stephen, to drop a quarter announcement last year. Nobody put a gun to your head and asked you to do this like some people are claiming.
I thought it was another game. Yeah, it was Wuthering Waves that added it. I think the same point is the same. Is that when customers expect better, they get better. A great example is Shadowlands. My understanding is, did Genshin say they weren't going to add it? I thought they said they were going to. They're adding it soon in Zenless Zone Zero? Yeah.
It's like whenever old school RuneScape players like cause a riot on Reddit, and then and then the devs change something. I don't know, sometimes they do.
Said nothing about it. So maybe I'm thinking, I might be actually just thinking of Zenless Zone Zero.
Because I think there was a gun to their head, and it was a lot of community.
They increased
people.
the limit.
I
Yeah,
think
they did both.
Intrepid Studios, or maybe just Steven, forgets the audience that he's trying to appeal to. The jaded MMO veterans who are desperate for a good MMO, and the younger audiences who have heard the amazing stories of how good an MMO can be. Is it really surprising that
Alexa, turn all lights blue?
people who have spent the last 20 years being screwed over again and again and again by corporate are acting defensive and hostile when you're hell-bent on using deceptive marketing practices and avoiding the truth? Because that's all we want. The truth.
I think that Steven and the team could have done such a better job by just saying, guys,
That's me.
Listen, running this shit's expensive. It's taken longer than we've expected. Inflation is high. We're low on money. We're charging $120 for the alpha.
You can't start preaching to content creators and your so-called wholesome fan base to defend your bad decisions when you're terrified to tell us the state of the game. These problems that are arising right now, this huge explosion of controversy, are the exact things...
I think also you've got to keep in mind the age of the audience. How many people do you think that are excited for it? Like, if you take a Venn diagram...
This is another one of those games that's just like, it's really trying to capture what World of Warcraft had whenever it came out and get like this massive audience and have everyone playing together and it'd be so much fun. But it's like, the audience has grown up like 20 years. It's just, it's not going to be like that anymore.
Of men who are balding and people who are excited for Ashes of Creation, I'm pretty sure you're almost going to have a circle. So, like, a lot of us, we've seen this. Like, we're not like 17-year-old kids, right? Like, we've bought a used car before, you know? We know what's going on.
Was trying to preach in my video. The exact things that I knew were coming if Intrepid continued to ignore outstanding concerns from the community. And don't get me wrong, right? Obviously, game development is difficult, and Ashes of Creation is an incredibly ambitious game, but you can't expect people to care when you've tried to milk them with Kickstarter packs you claimed would have the game released by 2020, a monetized battle royale with a battle pass containing cosmetics that don't even exist in your game anymore, so you had to make refunds, a $500 Alpha 1 testing phase that you claimed helped development, but now seemingly has no relevance to the current Alpha 2 due to nothing actually existing from that phase, followed by 3 years of selling FOMO, $250 access to a test we still can't play.
I do think that the Alpha 1 test probably helped them a lot in terms of architecture. Like, it might not have helped them in terms of, like, how to design, like, a world, right? But I think that it probably was very insightful in terms of the architecture that it provided.
a $120 Alpha 2 key that has nothing else attached to it except promise of an unplayable, bug-ridden alpha test that cannot be criticized after 8 years because it is, after all, only an alpha.
It's been 8 years? It's been 8 years? That's a long time. Dang.
Can you really not see why there's a backlash here? Consequences to your actions is what normal people call it. Ultimately, I just want the game to be good. And if this Alpha 2 ends up being 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, guess what? I'm still going to be here, giving Intrepid Studios feedback, preaching against these scummy monetization practices, and working my ass off 18 hours a day, trying to pay my rent, making videos for a game that quite literally doesn't exist, because I am just one nerd, desperate for a good MMO. And I'd have hoped the audience I've grown over the last 4 years, built off the back of Ashes of Creation, would be enough to help Intrepid see how many people like me there really are. I simply cannot support the monetization methods chosen to fund this game, and I've said this for the last...
I don't really care how they monetize the game as long as it doesn't affect the actual gameplay, but I do think that the next great MMO that's transcendent in the same way that WoW is will not have paid cosmetics. I think that cosmetics matter a lot more than people think they do.
4 years, but I will...
I mean, like, bro, I cannot even tell you how many times... Oh yeah, I only played this game because I like the I like the outfits. How many times I've heard that?
Continue to root for the team at Intrepid Studios as they're clearly cooking up a fantastic game that I believe will shake up this genre, because I'm high on copium.
There it is. Professional eaters. It's not a good value. It's all fake. They've tricked you into believing a lie and living inside of a box that they built to make money. Stop doing that. Yeah, true. True. So true. Now, Ashes of Creation has dialed back a little bit of this, and they're trying to become, more reasonable with the community. I think this is a good idea. And I also want to say this is a result of the feedback that we've given them. And I think that's exactly why we gave the feedback. The reason why people are giving the feedback is because they want the game to be good. They are excited about the game. They're enthusiastic about it. It's not like people want the game to fail. Nobody wants it to fail. Does that combat and Ashes of Creation look scuffed to you? Yeah, it does. It doesn't look that great, but it looks good enough to where, like, I would probably try it out and see how it goes. But it's good enough to where, like, yeah, I would at least give it that pass. But is the combat enough to where, like, it's amazing? Absolutely not. No. I think they've got a long way to go. But as somebody who's followed the project for a long time, I'm faithful about the direction of the game because I've seen how it's evolved over the years. So, yeah. That needs a lot of work. Yeah, it is. And so, like, the $120 for it and everything, I don't really think that they should have even talked about it in the broadcast. I feel like just the entire thing was a big mistake. The end game of MMO is transmog amounts. Selling cosmetics and selling your in-game identity is the ending of the long-term life of the game. I agree with you. So, a really good example of this is, like, in WoW. Like, or look at real life. How do they project wealth? Well, it's really simple. They buy expensive things that people know are expensive. Most cars that are $250 that go really fast, you can't go that fast in the car. There's two reasons for that. Number one, you'll get arrested. And number two, a lot of them have governors in them that make it where you can't go over like 160 miles an hour. A $250,000 car. That's what I mean. A $250 car. Yeah, I almost had one of those before. Yeah, they're status symbols. So like almost every single example in real life of somebody having something special is actually a status symbol, whether it's a Gucci bag or, designer clothes, a Rolex watch. Who the fuck needs a Rolex watch? Everybody has a smartphone. What time is it? It's 3:10 p.m. Like, I don't need a watch for that. That's stupid. Why would I want to have a watch? But people have it as a status symbol because they want to look good. And so that's the reason people take themselves seriously. Yeah, but a lot of people do that. And I think that everybody does that to an extent, right? The point is that a lot of people have a very big value attachment that they have to cosmetic items. And I think that games selling cosmetic items is a massive red flag because it completely destroys the visual progression of the game. And I think the visual progression of the game is incredibly important. Oh, let me link the video real quick, too. Make sure to give it a like. It's good to see Narc calling this out as one of the most noteworthy Ashes of Creation creators. Keeping this stuff accountable and trying to make the game better, right? Which is what matters the most.
I hope it does well. It's probably going to be 5 more years, but I hope it does well. Just the combat doesn't look that great to me.
Deadpool?
Or it looks like other games.
But most actors don't have the charisma of Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman. I think this has been a big problem with movies for a long time. I think Deadpool is a great movie that's ironic and it breaks the fourth wall and it's funny. I think the problem, though, is that a lot of things try to be like Deadpool, but most actors don't have the charisma of Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman, so it just doesn't really work.
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
This is a scene from Joss Whedon's The Avengers.
Yeah.
You've probably seen it before. In fact, you've probably laughed at it before.
I did.
I know I did back in 2012, along with every single other person in the entire cinema. And realistically, how could we not? It was such a surprise, such a hilarious subversion of the classic villain monologue. I mean, think about it. It's literally the filmmakers...
2012. I gotta lay down.
...is picking up...
Yeah. Really? Damn, bro.
all the serious tropes we've become accustomed to over the past 100 years, and saying to the audience,
look how good the CGI used to be, man. Look how good this shit was. How the fuck was it so... It was so good.
To the audience, hey, you and I have both seen this scene thousands of times before, right? We both know what you've come to expect from
these movies. I think
dang it.
It's like 300. Well, 300.
Someone in chat said 2012. It's like 30 years ago.
How the fuck was it so... It was so good.
To the audience, hey, you and I have both seen this scene thousands of times before, right? We both know what you've come to expect from this stuff, so how about we just throw this formula around like a ragdoll and try something new? And in the moment, this seems like a really exciting proposition. I mean, come on, an era where stories are sentient? An era where movies know they are movies and which can therefore create this new age relationship between storyteller and audience. One which is interactive and two-sided, which knows our expectations and therefore knows how to play with and subvert them. What could possibly go wrong?
I think that the example with Loki is probably one of the worst examples, in my opinion, because Loki is a trickster, and in a lot of ways he adds a lot of brevity to the story, and I think it does make sense. And also, it's a superhero movie. But the other ones I agree with.
Well, it turns out a few things. Lots of things, actually. Let me start by revisiting a story I briefly told in my recent video
I've seen this one.
on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy, and why they remain virtually untouchable 20 years on. For some reason, I missed out on these movies throughout my childhood. I don't know why. It just never occurred to me that I should watch them. So by the time I did eventually sit down to view the trilogy, I think I was 17, and by then was very much accustomed to the cynical, self-aware, ironic style of storytelling which had grown.
By the way, this movie was an S-tier movie. 21 Jump Street.
Whenever it came out, I thought this was the best movie that had ever been made. It was so funny.
Fucking insanely good. Such a great movie. Actually amazing.
Throughout the 2010s,
I never knew
movies,
Channing
and to a
Tatum
lesser
could be that
extent
funny.
television as well. Now, to this day, I'm pretty ashamed by what I'm about to tell you, but anyway. Fellowship of the Ring begins, we hear Cate Blanchett's narration, and I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. It's a bit overly serious, but whatever. And we get to the bit with Sauron, and we see this villain who kind of looks like he's from Power Rangers, and Galadriel is talking about a place called Mount Doom. So obviously I brace myself for the joke, for the moment where this ridiculous tension is broken.
It's weird how, like, obviously this guy's a bit younger, right? So, like, he grew up with movies like this, whereas, like, for me, like, Lord of the Rings was the norm. You know, like, then there was Gladiator, and, like, you know, we grew up watching Spartacus and, you know, the Ten Commandments and Lawrence of Arabia. You know, like, and we also, by the way, we had movies like 300. Well, 300 was 2006 or 7, I think, right? That was a bit later. Like 13th Warrior, Braveheart. Like, we had movies like, for example, like a really great example of a older movie that has like that same type of storytelling is Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones definitely had the same type of like self-awareness that like people can sometimes criticize new movies for. But again, do you know what the new movies don't have? They don't have the charisma of Harrison Ford. Troy. Yeah, bro, Troy. Exactly. Like, there's no joke after fucking Achilles just kills, was it Hector of Troy, in front of fucking everybody, drags his corpse around, and he says, fuck y'all, I'm out. I'll be back, gonna kill everybody else later. That was it, right? It wasn't like he tripped on the way out and it's like, haha, funny. No, bro, like, he just killed him and that was it. Yeah, The Mummy. Yeah, The Mummy was like that too. Yeah, they had a lot of like the comedy and shit like that too.
And it just doesn't come. So I think, fine, that was the prologue, whatever. You can't really make jokes in the prologue. Then we get the whole Shire sequence, and I see all the...
But it's weird to see like a younger person watching these movies that's not familiar with the way the storytelling used to be. It's really interesting to see this perspective. I haven't heard this before.
These little guys running around the place, smoking weed and making these weird faces. It all feels rather camp, rather silly, especially once the wizard in the pointy hat arrives. And so once again, I brace myself for the self-referential joke, for the film to acknowledge how bizarre this all is. And once again, no such joke occurs. And this basically...
Disagreed. I think that there's a couple of points of levity here. It's the guy, you know, hobbits aren't particularly smart or, you know, like the best inventors or anything. And it's like a dumb guy picking his ear. And then like the older guy who's laughing when Gandalf sets off the fireworks and the kids are happy. And then the wife comes out and she's mad. And then he's like, oh no, I actually hate this too. Yeah, of course, honey, it's so bad. You know, like, so there actually was brevity in Lord of the Rings. It's just that it wasn't done in a way that was cringe. Most of the brevity that's done now in Hollywood movies is written by people whose worldview is, what would the world be like if everything that my parents told me was actually wrong? It feels like almost bratty in a way.
And no such joke occurs. And this basically happens for the entire trilogy. Like, you think I would have gotten used to the tone after a few scenes, but no. My brain had been so molded over time by so much postmodern wink.
Nobody tosses a dwarf. And my axe and then Gimli's axe just fucking breaks. Gimli absolutely had a lot of comic relief moments. And then fucking Merry and Pippin. Absolutely comic relief. Yeah, there were a lot of that. The problem isn't that there's comic relief. It's there's the authenticity and purity of the relief that doesn't feel like it's fake. Well, second breakfast? Yeah, exactly. And then Aragorn throws him the app. Yeah, there you go. There's so many examples of it. It's just done in a way that's sincere and authentic. Which is, again, to be fair, what the video is about. It's about sincerity and not jokes.
You look like Kyle's cousin from South Park. Thanks. That's what I was going for.
But I feel like, again, a lot of times these two things get conflated. Sorry, I'm pausing a lot. Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie series. I have to fucking... Okay, let me move on.
Wink, nudge, nudge storytelling. That it could just not recognize sincerity. Now, let's actually stop for a second and think about how crazy that is. Because sincerity is not some outlandish storytelling device, only used by those daring few writers and directors. No, sincerity, since the dawn of time, has been the very essence of storytelling itself. Like, imagine having this conversation with someone even 50 years ago. They probably wouldn't even
This shit came out in, like, 2002. Can y'all believe this? This is the second movie? Like... And still, nobody can even come close to this? I actually think it's the way they record film nowadays. I'm actually a believer that I think, like, the old school film grain is a better cinematic quality than what they do nowadays.
Understand what you were talking about. For millennia, stories were told to convey truths, to share human experiences, to evoke genuine emotion. From ancient myths and legends, to classic literature, to television and cinema, sincerity has been the core element that binds the audience to the narrative. It's the fundamental ingredient that allows us to resonate so deeply with...
That's so funny, because that's the reason I don't watch TV shows and movies and stuff anymore, and just like basically YouTube, is because I don't want to watch something that's gonna make me feel emotions. I just want to be informed about
stories. Sincerity
something.
is what makes characters relatable, struggles compelling, and triumphs uplifting. Now look, I'm not saying that every story has to be this serious thing which dramatically...
But it is nice to watch a movie or a TV show that makes you feel emotions every once in a while. I just don't want to do it all the time.
Changes our lives. There is absolutely a place for humor, for irony, for stories that
this was, dude, Hot Fuzz was absolutely an ironic, really...
That's actually, like, one of my favorite movies.
A funny movie. I love this movie.
Take themselves...
That and the zombie, I forgot what the zombie movie was. But yeah, the zombie movie with that dude in it.
Too seriously, for movies which know they are movies and have fun with that premise. In fact, this kind of storytelling can be incredibly refreshing and entertaining when done right. However, when this becomes the default, when every film in the cinema feels the need to follow trend by shying away from earnest emotions or genuine stakes, a lot of problems tend to arise. Problems which films with a more sincere approach would just...
Yeah, bro, like, this scene, this shit was so real. Like, I remember watching this in a movie theater, and I was like, what the fuck? Bro, like, because, like, you gotta remember, because, like, I was a little kid, right? And so, like, I'm like, oh, man, the wizard died. That's so sad. That's awful, right? And then you find out he comes back. This dude leveled up. He fought the demon. He fucking killed it. Resurrected by God. And now he's back. Holy shit.
Ever run into. First of all, that amazing thrill of having your expectations subverted, that rush of excitement you get when a movie is meta, self-aware, ironic, well, it has extremely diminishing returns. Like I said earlier, everyone in the movie theater laughed back in 2012 when Hulk picked up Loki and threw him around like a ragdoll. But I imagine if you watched that scene today, it just wouldn't be that funny. But why?
Well, yeah, because we already saw it before. Well, the reason, I don't know, I don't think really the reason for that is anything other than the fact that we already have seen it, and the joke was the abruptness of it, and so because we're already knowing that it's going to happen, it's not funny. You know, like, that's the reason why.
Well, first of all, the joke has been done a million times since, in both every Marvel movie and basically everywhere else. But on top of this, every single one of these self-referential jokes are essentially the same, just with slightly different coats of paint.
I gotta do it. Even though I agree a lot with this movie, this video. We always had this.
Like, sure, you can subvert expectations, break the fourth wall, play on pre-established tropes in as many different ways.
You want to hear a really good example of one when it was good? And this, by the way, was the best episode of this entire season. This episode went so fucking hard, and one of the reasons why is because of the fact that it was 100% sincere. This was so fucking good. Like, I know everybody makes fun of Game of Thrones for being bad, but even in the later seasons, they had, like, huge W's. It was really only season 8 that I think really sucked. There we go.
Been a long time.
And, like, you see this guy looks like a fucking badass, right? Look at this guy. Fucking Skeletor.
I've stopped watching Game of Thrones after the Blood Wedding or whatever. And then they killed a bunch of people, and then Joffrey became king. Or maybe that was before. I don't remember, but I stopped after that. I was like, this show is shit. It's like Joffrey's a little bitch.
Last time I saw you, the little crow was your prisoner. The other way around now. What happened? War. War. You call that a war? The greatest army the North has ever seen, cut to pieces by some southern king. We should gather the elders. Find somewhere quiet to talk.
Trying to reason it out.
Give the orders here. I'm not giving an order. Why aren't you in chains?
He's not my prisoner.
No? What is he?
We're allies.
You fucking traitor.
Uh-oh.
You fight for the crows now?
Uh-oh.
I don't fight for the crows.
And he's still trying to be reasonable.
We're not here to fight. We're here to talk.
He's just trying to talk
Is
about
that right? You and the pretty crow do a lot of talking, Torment.
Oh.
And when you're done talking, do you get down on your knees and suck his cock?
And it's...
I'm sorry. Yo, dude just took your cane and then is gonna kill you with it. Like, what?
It's not like it's one hit.
He's just beating the shit out of him.
Either.
Gather the elders and let's talk.
That's it. That's it. That was fucking badass. And so, like, there are instances where you have that sincerity and, like, you have the same thing that's kind of like Loki getting thrown around. But it's just that some of the movies just don't have, I don't think they have, like, the writing ability for it. I think the difference is not the style of storytelling, it's in the quality of it. You're right. Yeah, it's the quality. Because the guy that plays Tormund is fucking amazing.
As you like. But let's face it, the joke is pretty much this. Hey, you're watching a film, and we know it. Like, that's it. That's the whole joke, done over and over and over again. And a huge problem with this formula, other than it becoming stale very quickly due to ridiculous overexposure, and it not being that clever or funny in the first place, is that it makes what is supposed to be unpredictable and subversive, predictable, and boring. And in my opinion, the single best example of this is Thor Ragnarok, a film which I personally find to be rather overrated. Now, don't get me wrong.
I love this movie. I think this movie's great. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies. I do. I think it's such a great movie.
Like every single line or joke in Thor Ragnarok is some meta-ironic quip which winks at the audience. But a lot of them are, and they're so frequent that it doesn't take long for you to predict when they're coming. Again, because they're essentially all the same joke. Like, the movie starts with yet another villain monologue, and we have this joke where Thor slowly spins away from the villain, and yeah, it makes your nose exhale slightly, maybe.
I think that we have to keep in mind that with Thor Ragnarok in particular, this is a superhero movie, and there are two average age groups that this is being targeted towards. 38-year-old men and their 12-year-old sons.
Yeah.
It's a comic book movie. It is a comedic comic book movie. It's not supposed to be Lord of the Rings.
And then the film gets back to the villain monologue and you think, alright, well, let's hear what the guy has to say. And then they just do the exact same joke again, like 10 seconds later. And you just think, what's even the point of this? If you're just going to pull the rug out from under me every single time, I'm going to very quickly pick up on what you're doing and learn when to jump over said rug. Does that metaphor make sense? Like,
I can see what his point is, and I think actually, well, like, and you can compare that with like the movie after that, Love and Thunder, right? That movie should have been way better. It really should have been, but I just don't think it was written well. Like, I just, yeah, I loved it. The one sucked. Yeah, but like, it shouldn't have sucked. It didn't deserve to suck. It deserved to be very good.
The thing that made this tone somewhat work in the beginning is that it was surprising and unpredictable, but I'm afraid to say that that ship sailed long ago, leaving us with, well, what exactly? To be honest with you, I'm not really sure, but whatever it is, it feels quite nasty, you know? Like a trick is being played on us, like we're being gaslit by someone who doesn't really respect the audience, nor the material they're responsible for.
True, so true, so true, true.
Which is kind of surreal to say out loud, but that's where we now find ourselves. Like, there's this one film which I'm sure no one's ever heard of before called The Last Jedi. I think it's the 8th episode of this epic space opera saga thing, and there's this one joke in it where we see this huge ship landing, and the cinematography and the music seem to be leading us to some...
Oh shit, I got a granite mall. Cool.
That's an
big
iron.
reveal. And then it turns out to be an iron.
What's up, Kitty Best?
Like, it's an iron. Ironing some clothes. Now look, I can actually see how someone could find this moment kind of witty, and look, I'm not gonna argue against that. However, I would argue that the brief laugh this moment may perhaps offer is nowhere near worth what it takes away. Because this joke basically feels like the creators of The Last Jedi, whoever they may be, making fun of us and punishing us for taking any of this seriously. It almost feels...
I think that kind of makes sense, but like you have a character like Chewbacca, right? Who, like, clearly Chewbacca is the comic relief for the old movies, you know? Like, he was, and there were funny jokes in Star Wars. Yeah, R2-D2, yeah, Jar Jar, well, he was too much, right? Like, he was way too much. But yeah, C-3PO, R2-D2, yeah, and so, like, you had comic relief before in the past. I think the problem is that the story just sucked and it was told in a bad way. Like, I even agree with, like, Snoke being, like, nothing. It was like, it was played out to be, like, this really big thing, and it was nothing. I actually think that was a cool plot twist. It just wasn't capitalized on in a good way.
Feels nihilistic. In fact, no, what am I talking about? It is nihilistic. A moment like this wouldn't feel out of place in Spaceballs, you know, the film that was made to take the piss out
That was such a good movie.
of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And now it's appearing in the real thing. Like, this is the point we've arrived at. There's a great video essay you should watch by The Closer Look about The Last Jedi's comedy, and in it they continuously bring up this word bathos, which basically means an anticlimax created by a lapse in mood from the sublime to the trivial or ridiculous.
Yeah, this is exactly, yeah, so fun.
Hold on, sorry. I want to look at... Do people really enjoy watching Dude with Hoarding Problems? Yeah, I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I watch all of Asmongold's videos. Well, not all of them, but like half. What color do cats like to see, like with light? I don't know how to word this. Light bulb? They like blue light. Oh, that's dope. Cool. Good thing I turned my light blue.
Fucking true. It's like you have a, like, no story nowadays can have a serious moment because everything has to be offset by a stupid joke or like some sort of, you know, funny aside. That's exactly, yeah, I completely agree with this.
Hey, another Granite Mall. That's what's up. I'm getting all kinds of stuff.
It's a film presenting us with something that could potentially be rather emotional or epic or dramatic, before pulling it away at the last second and going, "Wee, we got you. You thought it was going to be serious, but we were one step ahead of you." If this sounds familiar, it's because it's basically appeared in every single modern blockbuster created within the Hollywood system. And it is this type of joke which I believe to have caused the single greatest problem of this entire meta-ironic era which Hollywood currently finds itself in. You know what I was saying earlier about how...
This one might just be... You know, we had a guy that did this... You know, we know, yeah, there's a guy that did this. All 45, yeah. All Donald, yeah.
Which Hollywood currently finds itself in. You know what I was saying earlier about how sincerity is the core element which binds audiences to stories? The fundamental ingredient that allows us to resonate so deeply with cinema? Well, then it would make sense that insincerity achieves the opposite, creating a barrier between the audience and the story that they're...
Okay, I didn't watch. I didn't watch the Star Wars movie, and I had no idea that happened. Hold on.
The opposite, creating a barrier between the audience and the story that they're watching. It's funny, really, because a movie acknowledging that it's a movie is usually referred to as breaking the fourth wall. Yet, I would argue that a better term would be strengthening or refortifying the fourth wall. And the more frequently this wall is acknowledged, the more sturdy and opaque this barrier between audience and film becomes.
Well, and there's instances of, like, for example, like, maybe I'm pausing or talking about this too much, right? But, like, you know, this issue of, like, you know, this guy, her thinking that she's got something. I think this was it. I think this is it, right?
He was wise to use you against me.
And she got a lightsaber. He don't even have the lightsaber out. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, this is actually kind of cool. I should watch the Star Wars movies. Bro. Like, imagine having a big sword and you're just like swinging it around and someone's just walking towards you. I would be like, oh man, I need to run. Nope.
The spin is dumb. Yeah, I think this was cool. I do. I thought this was fucking cool. Sorry to say. And then there's the other one.
And I am so very sorry.
Yeah, here we go. This is so good.
That doesn't look good.
It isn't. It's him.
I think dialogue like that is the great example. Like, that scene, that dialogue didn't need to happen. And it's stupid. Like, I actually think that's the example of the stupid dialogue that dials things down. That's the cringe.
It's him.
Shit.
Who is it?
So, like, she's training the white guy, Cal Kestis.
You have failed me, Inquisitor.
Avengers!
Watch this.
No!
There it is. It's done. You know, oops, get the fuck out of here. And this is, by the way, this is the, yeah, she trained him. Yeah. Yeah, not going too well. No need to over-explain things, exactly. The Rogue One was good, yeah. And so it's like there's elements of it being done well, but I actually think that you guys see what I'm saying, though, about like the dialogue of that doesn't look good. It's like, okay. Yeah, fucking obviously that's Darth Vader. Of course it's not good. It's like the self-awareness. I ruined the mode. It's just I think it's just I don't even know.
It's the opposite, creating a barrier between the audience and the story that they're watching. It's funny, really, because a movie acknowledging that it's a movie is usually referred to as breaking the fourth wall. Yet, I would argue that a better term would be strengthening or refortifying the fourth wall. And the more frequently this wall is acknowledged, the more sturdy and opaque this barrier between audience and film becomes, the more we all come to expect this ironic style of storytelling, the less we are going to want to emotionally invest in films in the first place. Because what's the point if every movie is just going to make fun of itself, make fun of you for ever thinking that it might take something seriously? This is why—
Yeah, I will acknowledge this for every movie series except for Deadpool, because Deadpool was built off of that, and that's why it's funny. But everything else, yes. Like, that's like part of the, that's like the appeal of it.
My initial reaction to The Lord of the Rings was one of confusion, because I was so used to films like these gaslighting me and making fun of me and making fun of themselves and consistently avoiding actual stakes or real emotions. When I was eventually met with sincerity from a major studio blockbuster, I thought this must be some sort of trick. I'm not going to offer up my heart to this trilogy, to this experience, because— well, I've been hurt so many times in the past, and I know how this goes. The second I get invested in any of this, some hobbit is going to come out of a bush, smoking his pipe, and laugh at me for taking any of this seriously. And that, my friends, should just not be happening. Like,
someone said, "Who hurt you?"
That is such an unnatural—
That's what I'm concerned they're going to do with Tom Bombadil in Season 2 of the Rings of Power.
Response to a piece of art. So what is the solution to all of this? Because like I've already said, it's not that I think that this meta sort of humour doesn't have any place in modern cinema. Well, I have a few ideas. First of all, I don't really think movies can have their cake and eat it too when it comes to this stuff. Like, I find it so bizarre when the Deadpool movies, for example, which, let's be honest, essentially exist to make fun of superhero films, to break the fourth wall, and to have Ryan Reynolds make a ton of dick jokes. I find it so bizarre.
I think they're fucking great. I love these
movies. Honestly, probably some of the best movies ever made.
Movies. I think they're so funny. I do.
Like target audience right here.
I think they're just like, and this is the thing, is I think that people have like a degree of snobbery around like superhero films, and I don't share that at all. Obviously, my favorite superhero is Batman, and my favorite series of that is the Dark Knight trilogy. However, I think Infinity War is an S-tier movie. I think that Thor Ragnarok is an S-tier movie. I think that there are superhero movies that are fucking amazing.
You don't play old school RuneScape anymore? Can I give you my hardcore? If you want to. It'll probably be like a really long time before I play it though.
Because whenever I go to McDonald's, I don't expect to get a $300 steak. I'm there for a nugget and maybe a cute little funny toy and a drink. The Watchmen. Yeah, exactly. Infinity War is cinema? Yeah, and I think Infinity War had like moments of brevity, but there really weren't that many. I think that's actually why it was so good. Like Infinity War to me, like it was Infinity War and I think it was The Winter Soldier. They felt like way more serious.
when even those movies are suddenly trying to form some sort of emotional connection. Like, no. Any attempt at sincerity feels so out of place when you've spent the entire runtime taking absolutely nothing seriously. Another Hollywood franchise which I think has sadly run into this problem is the Fast and Furious films. Now look, I know these movies...
This has become anime for... This is redneck. Fast and the Furious has become redneck anime. I think that at this point they've just embraced it. This is just the way it is.
And most of the other movies I've spoken about in this video are not exactly the pinnacle of cinema, but I do think that the Fast and Furious series is a pretty interesting case study when it comes to...
the first Fast and Furious... Dude, we watched all, like, the first 5 or 4 or 5 of these movies. These movies used to go so hard. They were awesome.
To a franchise gaining self-consciousness, if you will, halfway through its lifespan.
I think my dad and I watched Tokyo Drift in theaters. This series began in the
early 2000s as your standard illegal street racing Point Break ripoff. However, the series, in my opinion, did not hit its peak until its 5th installment, which came out in 2011, 1 year before Joss Whedon changed everything with the Avengers. Fast 5, for me, is not just the zenith of this franchise, but honestly, one of the best dumb action movies of the 21st century.
Exactly.
Why? Well, because Fast and Furious was not yet this huge meme. The creators were not yet in on the joke. Yes, this film is stupid, but it also takes itself pretty seriously. The thing moves at a great pace, the set pieces are explosive and well directed, the characters are likable.
He's really cooking here. He's totally right. Yeah, this is absolutely.
But most importantly, it's earnest. It's not trying to make fun of itself. And because of this, it's actually rather wholesome. You find yourself really buying into all the vehicular masculine poetry in a way you probably just wouldn't ever expect to. And then the mid-2010s happened. The Fast and Furious franchise became aware of its own existence, of its own legend, of its own meme. The creators got in on the joke, and it lost what made it special in the first place. It became a parody of itself. And yeah, that kind of thing has happened before.
Well, I think that there's like in on the joke. So like here's a great example of a series that's kind of like in on the joke in a way, like where there's a degree of self-awareness, but the self-awareness doesn't take away from the content, is in the Witcher series. They have the scene from like Geralt in the bath from the beginning of Witcher 3. Like this is very obviously for the people that watched that watching the show that have played the games, right? But it's done by somebody, and hey, again, isn't it interesting that the commonality here is the guy that really cares and respects the source material and wants to take it seriously and honestly? There it is.
But they still try to do the emotional stuff, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't land because you can't really have it both ways.
That's a good point.
Or should I say, it's very difficult to have it both ways. I do think that on the rare occasion, when executed properly, you can have like one self-aware joke in your film. One instance where your movie recognizes that it's a movie, the audience laughs, and then...
The Big Lebowski was definitely self-aware. Where's the money, Lebowski? And they drop a ferret in his... Like, it was 100% self-aware. Absolutely. And like, so was... I mean, fuck. Pulp Fiction was built around a MacGuffin.
We move on from it. A great example of this, sticking to the whole villain monologue thing, is this moment from The Incredibles.
Best movie ever.
You sly dog! You got me monologuing! I can't...
Now, this isn't the deepest, most meta...
It's a movie for kids.
Joke ever told before, but it is funny. Why? Well, one, because it's really not that self-referential, like, let's be real, this is a pretty innocent joke. And two, the rest of The Incredibles is sincere. Sure, it has jokes, of course, it's a Pixar movie, but nothing too self-aware, nothing which takes you out of the experience, which stops you from emotionally investing into the stakes of the story. So, again, I do think that you can include the odd meta joke in your movie if you really want to, but it needs to be handled incredibly delicately. Of course, what's probably easier than this is to just go full Charlie Kaufman and completely embrace the art.
Well, it's also like, it's like tongue-in-cheek humor that's not insulting to the intelligence of the reader. Like, for example, I think somebody asked Joseph Joestar, what happened to your hand? And he says, oh, I lost it in a car's accident. And to somebody who doesn't know, they're like, oh shit, okay. But somebody who does know, they're like, good one. Yeah.
Of meta storytelling, or go full Tarantino and wholeheartedly embrace the art of homage. And I have indeed had tons of fun with films like these, but if you're not willing to go all the way with this stuff, perhaps just stick to the original source of storytelling.
I don't know about that.
Pure, unfiltered sincerity.
Settle down.
This doesn't mean abandoning humor altogether, but rather ensuring that it serves to enhance the emotional depth and authenticity of the narrative, rather than detracting from it. Fortunately for us, there does seem to be a growing trend in Hollywood at the moment that seems to signal a return to this sincere approach.
I think
Movies
so,
like
too.
Top Gun Maverick and Dune Part 2 have demonstrated that studios are once again down to...
Yeah, I watched Dune Part 1. I watched it on a flight somewhere. I was flying to California, and I watched the first movie. Man, they really could have cut that down by like an hour. Like,
I like the first movie because it had so much storytelling.
really, like, that's crazy.
And then the second movie, I feel like it had too much storytelling and I wanted more action.
Crazy that it was that long. Like, that was a long movie. Like, it didn't need to be that long. But it was a good movie. It's like once you take a step back and you stop thinking about how long the movie is, and like this is, remember what I said this with like Dragon's Dogma 2 and like Dragon's Dogma 1, is like the moment that you stop trying to beat the game and you stop trying to like I had this happen with Freerun as well, right? Is like I stopped thinking about, well, I want to hear what happens, like what happens at the end of the movie, what happens whenever they get to this place, what happens whenever they get there, what happens when this, right? And you just take a step back and you enjoy the journey. I think that Dune was an incredible movie. But man, they spent a lot of fucking time doing zoom-ins on shit that didn't really have anything to do with anything else, right? Like, man, that really was a lot of time they spent on that. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of time. It's an artistic mood piece. It is. But you got it. What I'm saying is like, and I think that's why Dune was good. That's why it was well received, is because it was done so brazenly that it takes the, like it takes the watcher outside of the traditional movie mindset, and it like allows them to actually like, It allows them to basically, like, surrender themselves to just simply watching the movie rather than trying to, like, kind of go along, move forward. It's experience, right? Yeah, they're in it. Becomes a spectacle and not just a story. Yeah, exactly.
Craft narratives that are earnest and emotionally resonant. And I think the audience response to both of those films says a lot about what we truly want from this beautiful medium deep down. Perhaps we'll never get another Lord of the Rings.
No.
A series you'll be glad to hear I now love and appreciate with all my heart. But in this
we're not going to. It's not going to happen. Like, and that's fine. Like, it's fine because it already happened. And so, like, we're so lucky to even happen once. We're lucky it even happened one time, bro.
To reclaim the forgotten currency of sincerity, we might have gotten something even better. We might just rediscover that the most epic tales are the ones that dare to be genuine, to be earnest, to embrace the sublime beauty of unfiltered truth. You're waiting for me to make a joke, aren't you?
Good one.
To relieve the tension after that emotional monologue.
You just did.
I'm not going to. Thanks for watching.
Yep, there it is. No, I mean, like, here's the way I see it, right? I think that there are a lot of instances.
Yeah, what's up, Toasty?
And like the point that I'm bringing up with like some of these other movie like kind of parallels that I've shown before, or like throughout like this video, is that there are a lot of instances where this same type of thing happened in older movies as well, and in things that we consider to be great. But the problem is that I think it's the dialogue. And I noticed this a lot with Rings of Power. I was listening to the dialogue in Rings of Power, And I was thinking to myself, man, this isn't as good as Lord of the Rings.
Damn. What's up, my dude? How's the Slayer grind? Really good, man. I haven't streamed in a minute, but I was like, the last time I streamed, I was like, I'm gonna stream every day now, but like this time for real, we're gonna be streaming every day. But no, I haven't really been playing that much. I got 87 Slayer, but I feel like I've been trying to get this for like 3 weeks. Or I've been trying to get 90 Slayer for like 3 weeks. I've also played like twice.
It's not as good. Like, and to be fair, right? I mean, who wrote that? No, I mean, it's fine, right? But it's like you compare this to Lord of the Rings, and it's like, it's really not as good. It's not even as close. It's not fair. It's not even fair, right? And I'm thinking of like games that, like, for example, Metal Gear Rising. Absolute fucking cinema. Raiden is fighting against 2 unmanned B-2 bombers, and he jumps out of the helicopter to cut them in half with a laser sword.
Never mind.
Dude. Yeah. Fucking exactly. It was so fucking good, right? And so that's what it was about. Raiden and Metal Gear Solid 4 is nuts. Oh, I'm gonna play the whole series now. Like, and I know it's nothing. It's gonna be nothing like the Revengeance. I know it's gonna be nothing like it, but I'm gonna play the whole series now. Like, I'm totally sold. I love the aesthetic. I love the design. I love the vibe. The gameplay was fun too. It was awesome. Yeah. I don't know. Play original Metal Gear Solid. No, I'm gonna start with number 1, right? Yeah, I will start with number 1. When's Witcher 3? Oh, I don't know. I think actually Witcher 3 might be an off-stream game for me. Because it seems like a game that I kind of want to just like sit back and enjoy. Like, and that's not like a stream thing, but like that's just a vibe, right? It's a vibe. Hit less hard if you don't play the first 3. Oh no, I will. Beat Armstrong first. Yeah, I might just put it on easy mode and beat the last boss and make sure that I finish it, right? So yeah, and Witcher 3 felt so immersive for me. Yeah, and I'd want to have that experience because I had that with a few other games and I really enjoyed it a lot. I really appreciate this video, and I think this is something that needs to be talked about a lot more. I think he brings up a lot of points when everything's ironic, nothing is. But I also think that a lot of what he's saying is not an instance with the action, it's with the implementation. Because, you know, like we can go back and think of like all the movies, like even a movie kind of like Romancing the Stone with like Michael Douglas in it. That movie was kind of, it was a little campy. It was clearly, you know, kind of like one of these adventure movies, etc. And they had some of the same type of jokes, throwback, yeah. But at the same time, it still did have a certain degree of sincerity and authenticity to it, right? I like that one, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, you guys, I've watched a lot of movies, okay? Like, I've basically any movie that's come out before the year 2012, I've probably seen the movie. I think, again, this right here is the problem.
Not see streaming, you're always my late night go-to. It's so funny because sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stream early today. And then 3 a.m. comes and I'm like, all right, I'll start.
That doesn't look good. It isn't.
That's what's cringe. Cut that scene out.
It's him. It's the dark one.
And you have some real shit.
It's the dark one.
Coming out, I guess this is.
I don't watch this one.
Let's talk about
this one. Oh wait, we already watched that. Ooh, Mr. Beast video. That's funny. Sorry. I've watched all the Mr. Beast videos.
I don't know.
Like with all the drama and stuff. It was just funny.
I don't normally do intros like this, but I'm currently.
He said early, yeah. No, so like I brought up my stream thing and I set it for, I think it was like 4 o'clock. And then 12 hours later, 11 hours later, I started it.
Descending hundreds of feet into a cave that runs over 5 kilometers deep into the earth. And whether we like it or not, as soon as my friends and I touch the ground.
No, but it's mostly been because of work. And then, what is it, tomorrow? I did most of my work for tomorrow tonight. So tomorrow I can actually stream, I think. Like early. It's not really early though. So... You stayed away from the Mr. Beast drama? No, his views actually, because I was looking at this the other day, his views actually didn't really change. Or I guess that was 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, I don't really know. I mean, 70 million, but that's 2 days, and then that's 2 weeks, and that's 158 million. 200 million, but even if you scroll down, it's like 100 million, 121, 118. I don't know. Like, this video doesn't seem to have done as well, but... Yeah, I don't know. There's just a bunch of stuff about him. No, it's like a whole bunch of stuff came out about Mr. Beast, but like really only like 1 or 2 things really need to be addressed. But it's not like nothing's gonna happen. Like, he's gonna be making YouTube videos and people are gonna be watching his YouTube videos. I don't think he's not gonna get canceled. He's not gonna fall off. But you can see the dislike. Yeah, so there was a thing on the dislikes where the dislikes aren't actually 100% correct. I forgot what it was, but it was like it's not really correct. Like, it can be anywhere from like 5% off to 50% off. So it's like, I don't know. He ignored it and moved on. Yeah, he said, I think he was waiting for like everything to come out and then he was gonna make a response. But I mean, I don't know. I just like, he really doesn't. I don't. He probably will make a response. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff.
We are officially stranded here for the next 7 days.
But then it's more about like other people. I don't know. So it's like the fact he faked his videos. I feel like if you didn't know he faked his videos, like, you had to have known he faked his videos. There's no way there's no way. But and then the Mac guy, he's actually an employee. Like, well, of course he's an employee. He's been in like 7 videos. I don't know. There was the only one that like I felt like was bad was that he hired a guy that was a predator or something, and he couldn't go back to a certain state. So they called him the name of that state as a joke because he couldn't go back there or something. That was a weird one. And then the stuff about Chris, but I mean that's not really about him either, but it's just more about him saying that his videos are real. Or a lot of it is about him saying his videos are real and then they're not real. And then that guy that they hired. Oh yeah, and then also, so there was a guy that he did the challenge where you're like in a room that has the lights on all the time, so you don't know if it's day or night or whatever. And he did that challenge, but he felt like he was pressured. He worked for Mr. Beast. He did the challenge, and he could leave any time that he wants, but you have like all these people around you and you're filming and stuff, so like you're being pressured to stay. I don't know. That one's not too serious to me because it's like you can leave. Oh yeah, that guy. I heard they pressured some guy to fight for the money in the box for like a couple of days to a week, gave him PSD. Yeah, that was the guy. So like he worked for Mr. Beast, so it was like, well, if I don't do this video, like, am I gonna get fired? Am like what's gonna happen to me if I don't, you know what I mean? Like, you have these external pressures, but he could have left at any point. Like, no one was forcing him to stay there. But yeah, that was the one that was kind of like, I don't. But the other things were kind of bad, or not bad. I don't know. I'm still gonna watch his videos. I'm still gonna watch his videos.
That might have been the scariest thing I've ever done. First things first, we gotta get really far away.
Like them, this whole thing, like, there's no way. This whole thing is CGI. Like, there's no way.
My friends and I, we gotta get really far away from where we rappelled down. Why?
Except
if it
this
storms, this entire area could flash flood, fill up like an ocean, and potentially drown us all. Which is why we're going deep into the cave to set up base camp.
Bro, this is just wicked. Dude, this is like a different world.
This cave entrance may be beautiful, but looks can be deceiving. We didn't know it yet, but the next 7 days will by far be the hardest of our entire lives. It's gonna get dark in a couple hours. If we don't have a camp, we're screwed, okay?
Do you have any idea where you're going?
We're just looking for flat ground to set up camp. Upon entering the mouth of the cave, we stumbled upon an area with high enough elevation to protect us from any flash flooding, meaning that it was perfect for camp.
Perfect is a crazy word.
Good enough is what I would use. Good enough for camp. We spent the rest of day one grabbing our supplies.
Sorry. Stranded in a cave with their film crew and 6 trucks full of food, water, and inflatable mattresses. True. True. Like, you know, they got done filming and they were like, all right, guys, well, let's go back to base camp.
That we were dropped with.
Each one of these bags weighs like 80 pounds.
And as you can see by the footage, we spent around 4 hours.
This is very hard to traverse.
Getting all of it back up to our base camp. All right, we've got some lights on in here. Our supplies are finally at our home base. And if you point the camera over there, you'll see it's pitch black. It took all day. And so we set up the bare minimum for camping grounds. We drilled holes to hang up some ropes. Grab these, pull yourself up. Looks like the ropes will be able to support hammocks. And with the help of our survival guide, Joel, we hung our hammocks. This thin rope is what holds up my hammock.
Yep.
Ate some dinner and prepared for a very cold night one.
Not gonna lie, this hammock is way more comfortable than I thought it would be.
Hey. Oh, God.
Why is my head so big, bro?
This part of the cave is 2.5 kilometers deep, and we're basically camping at the entrance. Tomorrow, we have a lot of exploring. How'd you guys sleep?
Horribly.
I didn't. It's a very perplexing environment. The cave's constantly dripping water on us from above, so we put a tarp over us. But even still, the water's dripping into our hammocks.
I have an idea. Let's make our shelter actually good.
I say we connect these tarps so we stay dry while we're sleeping.
That's literally genius.
I'm not just a YouTuber, okay?
My hammock gets out right here. Are we serious right now? This is where I just got out of bed.
And we didn't realize it at the time, but this hole is almost 40 feet deep. So while Sean and I got started on the super tarp, Mac and Carl went to see how dangerous this hole was for themselves.
Do you see my hammock up there? That is where I slept. Now look at this.
And because everything looks the same, and it's probably pretty hard to follow us in this cave, on this map, you can see our home base and how far they're moving away from it.
All right, Mac, it's been real, bro. Oh, bro, this is crazy.
Well, the boys are randomly exploring. Me and Sean actually have to work on the camp.
Why is there a sleeping bag over here? Because it smelled like pee.
Ew.
Lesson number 1, don't rent your sleeping bags.
Why did we rent sleeping bags? Why did we not just buy sleeping bags? We're zip tying the tarps together to create one mega tarp. Don't mind me just trusting this rope with my life. And meanwhile, Mac and Carl were still in a hole.
Oh my God, Mac.
And eventually, they finally made it to the bottom. Hey! We're supposed to be working on camp.
We just wanted to show how dangerous camp was.
Just don't fall. It's a skill issue. Oh, okay. And even though they should have been on their way back, Carl and Mac insisted.
Well, they don't show us the staircase nearby with the hotel. You just turn around and it's like, oh, this is actually part of a big hotel.
On seeing how deep they could go.
Bro, this just looks so crazy. You think you could make it through the river?
Well, little do these two know, this river actually runs throughout the entire cave, which means we'll be spending some time in it.
Oh, there they are.
Tell me you guys cooked.
Oh, we cooked. That's right.
A new home, am I right?
Let's go.
We now have a roof.
Look at this. I'm not gonna lie, actually kind of gross.
And we moved the fire pit to this little cove we found. What do you think?
It's warmer. It's cozy.
These rocks trap the heat here and block the pee from the rocks above.
It's not pee.
What do I call it?
I don't know, maybe rain or something?
But it's not rain, it's rock.
Baby.
Wait, point it up. Do you see clouds? No, you see rocks. It's not rain.
Rock pee.
Rock pee.
Rock pee, fine.
All right, it's rock pee. And after a much drier night of sleep, we decided to have Joel, our survival expert, help us get all the way to the end of the cave. Cave!
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 Cave! Cave! Cave! Yeah!
Let's see how deep in the cave we can make it.
The tarps are giant water collectors, and you connect them and get a big water collector.
Now, keep in mind, we are still just at the beginning of this massive cave, and our goal is to make it all the way through it, without dying, of course. Oh my gosh, this is kind of steep.
Bro, you ain't seen nothing yet.
We're going deep in the cave.
All right, boys, suck in your guts.
It's where things get tight. I don't actually think I'm gonna fit. The interesting part about cave exploration is 1 second, you're barely fitting through cracks in the rocks.
Oh my God, this is so tight.
And then the next, you're in a massive chamber, so big that in order to see it all, we had to do this.
Woo! Oh my God!
I can actually see now. This is awesome. This thing is bright.
Woo!
Bro, look at how cool this is.
Yeah! It's so bright, I can't even look at it. I'm like getting blinded.
Oh no! Oh no! In hindsight, we probably didn't use that the most effectively. Lead the way. And so we continued on.
Feel free, there's a really good handle up the top
right
there. And then you can sort of swing a foot around onto this one.
Like this?
Yeah, yep, perfect.
Joel, the best caving guide ever. No one's died yet.
All right, guys, this is where things get interesting.
What? What is this?
So from this point on, wetsuits, we're going for a swim.
Yesterday, Mac and Carl were joking about doing this, but the rest of this cave adventure takes place in a freezing river.
Oh my God, this is insane!
Meaning wetsuits are the only way to not get hypothermia.
Why are we doing this?
This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
It's because you die after you do it.
So in order to get to the end of the cave, we have to hop in this river and fight the rapids through this tiny hole in the rock and carefully squeeze our way through it.
Take your time, it will take your feet behind you a little bit.
All right, I'm getting in the river.
You want to follow the water.
Imagine being in this cave and you start hearing the echoes of Bob's Burgers episodes. You just see me run off. I'm like, Bob, Gene, I hear you. Like, this is after like 5 days of everyone just like starving and having no food.
I'm not afraid of ghosts. I'm not afraid of sharks. I'm not afraid of cancer. I'm just afraid of snakes. They really creep me out. Where are they?
And then I just start running off.
All around to the left.
Wait, I want to finish the song.
Arms and legs. It's not okay. I'm not afraid of ghosts. I'm not afraid of sharks. I'm not afraid of cancer. I'm just afraid of snakes. They really creep me out. Where are their arms and legs? It's not okay.
It's not okay.
You got it, Jimmy.
I don't know if I fit.
Jimmy, I need you to pull yourself up out of the water.
Oh my God. What's crazy about doing this
I'm so cold.
is when you're completely submerged in freezing cold water, gripping onto the rocks becomes incredibly hard.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Mac, Carl, let's go.
You got this. Keep going. Look how crazy this is, dude.
And even though this obstacle was difficult, it's nothing compared to what's up ahead. Hey, boys, we're now 10% done, which means we've only scratched the surface of this expedition, and we still have over 2 kilometers remaining to reach the end.
As you can see, it rains in this cave 24/7.
So I'm making a chill spot for us to hang out in and not get wet.
I wonder what it would look like if I wasn't here to build all this. Pretty sure they'd just be sleeping in a pile on a wet rock.
Why don't we keep moving now that the bodies are wet?
You got it!
Temperatures are going to drop quickly.
Why is this so difficult? The worst part is, every inch we go this way is an inch we gotta go that way to get back to camp.
Our next obstacle may be out of the water, but that doesn't make it any easier to get through.
Oh, is that a spider web? Spider, I don't see a spider. That means it's probably on us. Yeah. It's on you, it's on you. I hate my friends. This cave is like a Mr. Beast video. The further you go, the harder it gets. Just straight up, if we didn't have Joel, I'd be dead.
And after 3 hours, Joel had some bad news for us.
The water's too high and we've taken too long. We're gonna have to turn around for today and head back to camp.
I disagree! You can't disagree with the safety expert! I disagree!
Well, we can't really disagree. It turns out we wasted way too much time filming and playing with flares to the point where we now had to restart and attempt this mission another day.
Sean, we're back!
What'd you do while we were gone?
Hopefully nobody gets wet now.
Bro, I didn't even know we packed lights.
Yeah, they're awesome, right?
Sadly, we only made it 20% through the cave today. But mark my words, we will go the distance in a future day.
I doubt it. That's not gonna happen.
We might rest on day 4, and then on day 5, try to go all the way to the end of the cave and see what's there. Day 3 was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And after a third miserable night in the cave, the next morning, we only had one thing in mind.
A hot shower would literally save my life right now.
Oh, showering would be awesome.
I haven't showered in 4 days.
As you can imagine, showering inside a cave isn't easy. We had to hike all the way back to where we rappelled in to safely reach the riverbed.
It's so cold! Oh my God! Oh, I feel my brain. I've never felt my brain like this.
My forehead is frostbite!
Let's use the drone to dry our heads off. Come here, drone! Oh, brother, stop, stop!
It's actually working.
Yeah, it is working. Who needs a hair dryer when you have a drone?
And after we dried off, we sat down with Joel to plan our journey. What is this, Joel?
This is the map of the cave.
Last time, we had to stop because of the fast-moving water, but the rains have been slowing, so we might just get a window to reach the end by tomorrow.
Dude, this is about to be wild.
First, we'll need to pass some of those same rapids from yesterday, dive off massive cliffs, and avoid jagged rocks. And if we can make it past all that, we will finally make it to the beautiful glowworm chamber.
Don't tell us what that looks like. I want us to be surprised. Do you think we're gonna make it?
Whoa. Nah, let's not play that game. We're all gonna make it.
With tomorrow's plan thoroughly mapped out, we rested up and made feastable s'mores to regain our energy.
Everyone cheers. Yippee!
Oh, Joel's about to have his first feastable s'more.
All right, Joel, be honest.
Joel approves?
Joel approved.
Why didn't we whip this chocolate out earlier? This just got like 10 times more fun. Guys, for real, if you've never tried s'mores with feastables, you're really missing out.
Tomorrow, we're gonna explore the entire cave. We'll see you guys then.
So we tried to sleep as much as we could and prepare for tomorrow's journey to the end of the cave.
We're about to embark on one of the most dangerous journeys of my life.
Because of our experience from day 3 and focusing less on filming, we were able to make progress way faster.
Woo! This water's cold.
Just like the other day, bro.
Nice, bro. Easy.
And to ensure our best chance of survival, in addition to Joel, we brought another survival expert with us.
This is where we had to stop on day 3. How we doing? We're making much better time. Behind us, it's pitch black. Where do we go?
This area gets narrow, the current's strong, so we're gonna use the walls and kind of climb our way along. Yep, through we go.
Oh God.
Yeah, jump for that first rock. There's a couple of good rocks around the corner as well you can get a hand onto.
It's so dark down here.
There's no bottom right now. My feet aren't touching the ground right now.
Because we couldn't reach the ground, this meant that if we let go now, we could get swept away by the strong current directly beneath us.
Joel, what are we doing?
I would go into here if you can. That's a good one.
I can't even see where I'm going.
The current is taking me away. You got it. You got it. Get yourself in there and it's going to get way gentler.
I go in here?
Yep, in the hole. Yeah. Well done, well.
Dang, that looks crazy. You used to go wetsuiting and tubing in late February and early March, about 2 years north of Toronto with my brother and dad. It was so fucking cold. Was it like mountain water or something? Or is it just cold? You don't think Mr. Beast has the body for this? Yeah, probably not. Yo, what up, Justin? Unpause it. Why would you say that? I was going to unpause it, but now I don't want to. I think we should all just sit here and think about what we're doing tonight and what kind of amazing things that are going to go on in our lives in the next 10 hours. Canadian water in February and March. Oh. I didn't know that. I bet that's cold. Mr. Beast block. We're gonna be a bot. This will be a bot and watch speed.
This might be the most insane thing we've ever done. We are much deeper in the cave than we've ever been, and we're now approaching our first serious obstacle.
So basically, the water's recirculating, so if you fall in, it takes you to the bottom and it keeps you there.
If we fall, we would die.
Yeah.
Okay, so death is on the table?
Yep.
This is just not what I thought I was signing up for.
Well done. Yeah, perfect.
So now, come on, quick, here?
Yeah, correct.
Caving, it's a lot harder than I thought.
You can tell how strong this river is because it created this entire cave.
And fun fact, we're not as strong as a cave.
I'm barely as strong as a human.
Well, fortunately for us, rather than Carl leading this expedition, we've got the literal Avenger, Joel. And just to prove how much of an expert he is, this man literally flexed on us by jumping off a cliff. Oh my god. You're crazy!
Who else is a bit crazy? Surely one of you guys are keen?
I'm crazy!
No shot you want to do that.
What are you talking about? I'm doing it right now, baby. Let's go, Joel.
Godspeed back!
After everything Jimmy's put me through, this ain't that scary for me. 3, 2, 1.
You doing it? No, we gotta keep going or we won't hit the end.
Oh my god.
Can we go downstream? Why are we always fighting the current?
I might just start drifting away. I might just give it up.
There are sharp rocks underneath the water. You cannot see them, so watch your step.
Oh my god.
It's getting deep again.
I can't. I need to put my feet on. And if the sharp rocks weren't enough of a challenge, it seems like with every step we took... Oh, bro, I can't see anything. This is terrifying. The cave became darker, tighter, and ruthless enough that we began to question if we could even get to the finish line. This is exhausting. This cave is about to get a lot harder, and I have something I need to show all of you. Joel, can I see your bag? Thank you. You know what you've been carrying?
What have I been carrying?
The brand new Mr. Beast Lab Swarms. I'll be honest, guys. As you can see, because of what I've been going through for the past 5 hours, I'm clearly in no shape to tell you about this right now. And so, a month after we filmed this, I built an entire cave set, threw on my Future Jimmy name tag, and then said, hey, Future Jimmy here, and I'm gonna tell you about my brand new toy line, Mr. Beast Lab Swarms. It's a collectible toy line with over 119 uniquely designed characters that you can collect. And the coolest part is, to find out which character you got, you pour water into this tube, shake it up, and the swarms will appear in front of your very eyes. And to demonstrate the product, I made this giant life-size version of the swarms tube. Fill the tube with water. You won't need this much water. This is just a giant tube. All right. And now that this is filled with water, Mac's gonna give it a little shakeage. Oh. Is it shaken up enough? I think it's shaken up enough. Then you pour out the water. Do the honors, Joel. And out of the water will be revealed which 2 swarms you got. This is the rarest one, the Hyperchrome, that I only made 1,000 of. Joel, you can have it. You can have that one.
Where's Carl get?
I only have 2. And we didn't just stop with the swarms, we also made these action figure panthers that are in these briefcases, and this mutator that, just like the swarms, has a really cool reveal.
I actually didn't even think about that he would lose all of his advertisers.
When you buy it.
Where do I buy them?
I'm glad you asked. Mr. Beast Lab toys are now available everywhere in the world you buy toys. They're all out now. Go give them a try. And after more brutal trekking throughout the cave, we finally arrived at the glowworm chamber. Man, this better be worth it.
Alrighty, team. Welcome to the glowworm chamber.
Whoa! Holy
crap. That is crazy. Dude, this does not look like it's Earth.
All of the lights you see here are actually created by tiny bioluminescent glowworms.
That kind of looks like the Milky Way galaxy.
That's crazy. You used to cliff dive in a lake? I'd be scared. I feel like I would be that person that would jump into the lake and just like never come back up.
Wow. At this moment, this view, honestly, made that trek worth it.
While making it to the glowworms was definitely worth the trip, our journey was still not over because we had to go all the way back to base camp.
It's almost day 6. They're not back, and I'm exhausted. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep, though. Just worried with them being gone so long.
The trip back is way easier because we're just floating with the current.
Now, because you guys have already seen the trip, we're going to expedite the way back. But seriously, this whole journey took so long, we crossed into day 6 before reaching camp.
John.
What's up, guys? I was starting to get worried.
Happy day 6.
Day 6, let's go.
All we had energy to do was thaw out by the fire and finally eat some food.
That was a very adventurous day. I'll see you guys tomorrow or later today. It is day 6. Yeah, maybe today. I don't know.
Despite being physically obliterated from our excruciatingly long hike, no matter what I did, I was really struggling to fall asleep.
I spent 7 days in solitary confinement, 7 days buried alive, 7 days on a raft, and I'm gonna be honest, I think this is harder than all of those. You're constantly soggy and cold. I just keep hitting my body on these hard rocks and it hurts. 90% of the time, this cave is miserable. But between me and you...
Jimmy! Yo!
Carl! Can you see me?
That's the world's brightest flashlight.
There are moments of fun in this cave.
From conquering rapids 300 feet underground.
For me and the boys laughing in our hammocks, all the misery is worth it.
Because when you're in good company,
let's make whale noises.
This wet, cold, rocky, miserable cave can easily transform into
the most beautiful trip of our lives.
Seeing Mr. Beast made me unsub to you. Okay, see ya.
We cannot leave until everything is picked up. And when I say everything, I mean everything.
Let's get out of here. And after our journey back to the mouth of the cave,
oh, it looks so good up there.
We had one more surprise for Joel.
And before we head out, Joel, as a show of gratitude, we got you 50,000 New Zealand dollars. So it's 10 grand for every human you didn't let die.
Oh gosh, thanks so much, Jim.
We love you, Joel. And now that we got that out the way, let's leave. Woo! After 7 long days, we're finally leaving.
Rark has a bingo? I didn't even know.
We are now stranded on this deserted island.
I'm in his clan too.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet.
Yeah.
This guy managed to break the AI at the drive-thru.
Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. What can I get started for you today?
Can I get 18,000 water cups, please?
Okay. What can I get for you?
Oh, Pepsi.
They figured out the best way to deal with spiders in their house.
Oh crap, I forgot. I gotta pray. What am I doing? Hold up. What?
This guy figured out a new way to play a violin. Imagine living next to a self-driving car parking lot where it's just robots honking at each other at 4 a.m.
Help.
Va bene? Via.
But these frogs just dropped the best beat of 2024.
Show yourselves!
This man suffers from Parkinson's disease, but some brand new medication has been developed to return his life to normal.
One.
Yeah.
I had no idea that mud volcanoes were so gloopy.
That's so cool. I want to stick my hands in it.
That is the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later. Hello everyone, this is
Okay, maybe not that.
of internet. This guy left some blue cheese in his car, so now his entire car is covered in mold.
Now the car is covered in blue cheese mold. I kid you. Look at this. Looks like cat hairs or like soap is stuck everywhere. That's from blue.
One of my subscribers was in a museum and decided to record the best dap of all time. This dog really wants to say hello.
Hello! 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 Hello!
There's a guy just playing Elden Ring on the sidewalk. Kind of cool. Huh.
I'm not really sure what the end goal was, but apparently this guy stole a police car. For some reason, this duckling is really good at climbing.
O patinho que minhas filhas ganharam. Olha só, que coisa louca. Pra fugir. Pra fugir do quintal, ele vai escalando o muro. Inacreditável.
One of my subscribers recorded a video of a spider dancing at a club. I think it's time for her to grab her tickets and run. I think this bird found a glitch and managed to turn off.
A little kid. She's just like staring at the tickets. It's like a.
I think this bird found a glitch and managed to turn off gravity. You'll never guess what fell into this pool.
Dang.
So I guess armadillos love to play.
So he doesn't.
This iridescent cloud was spotted in Vietnam a few days ago. An astronaut in the International Space Station used a $38,000 camera lens to record this incredible time-lapse while floating over Earth. That is the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.
So, I didn't believe this when somebody told me about this, but apparently it is true. No Man's Sky sub has proved how lazy gaming journalists are. They published this post without researching to see if it's fake. What apparently the No Man's Sky subreddit has done is they have been making making fake news about the game, and the websites are reporting on the fake news as if it is real. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. Number one, Google result. We have not only won, we have triumphed. The Atlas boss was a secret boss added in the newest patch for No Man's Sky. How to unlock the new secret Atlas fight. Cool guide. You should mention.
Oh my bad, I didn't read that. Oh, because that was whenever I asked you about the rock. You had a fish finder, and you could see the rocks and stuff. Dang, that would be crazy.
They can straight out one-shot your ship if you try to fly away. Oh my god. Well, there we go. It's found by the community on July 32nd. I didn't even notice that. And there's the article right there. They just randomly made a fake news post, and all of these news publications just ran with it without even checking it at all. Well, guys, that's why nobody likes games journalists anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see this here. Let's see this here. IRL streamer interrupts college class. Uh-oh. What's he doing? Ban fake ID?
Bro, there's no way.
About building like spirits.
It's like a cheer team.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Just make sure it's good. We're just gonna make sure it's all nice.
Oh, yeah, I have one of these classes.
Ready? Okay.
What's this?
I just have to get the second ingredient, guys, and then we'll be good, and then we'll be done with our presentation. Let me open this shit. Let me open this shit. Here.
No.
Bro. That's me for real? Yeah, that would be me too. She's so fed up with this shit.
Make sure you get the water. Sorry, guys.
Like, can we please just have class, please? Please.
Your water.
Yeah, they told us to come to this one.
They told us this one because this is the best one to do it at.
They said this was the best one. Go first. Coming in.
Should I go first? I go?
He's gonna do a slip and slide?
Steel! Josiah the Virgin! Yeah!
But whenever you did this, like I would assume that you don't go to the school, because whenever you do this, I would also assume if you did go to this school that you would not be going to the school anymore.
She top with? No, she has like a bra on, I think. Yeah, she does.
Come on, Modine!
Bro, this guy's like... Yeah.
Ready? You have to leave. No, that's wait, level to do this.
Do you want to go down with us?
No, we don't.
Oh.
We saw your show. That's a great performance.
One more.
Ready?
Okay, that one.
Wow.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Is that the end of our
You could do one more. You could do one more before we dip.
Okay, that was a great show. Thank you.
Okay.
She said thank
Man, I could not imagine being a teacher. Like, imagine being at your job and just like there's always a chance that someone could come in and do this. Every single day, you're like, it didn't happen today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Video that there's no recording
Okay.
in the classroom.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're gonna
Guys, you Miami, school spirit, raise it up.
I hope they put these kids in Grand Theft Auto 6.
Best school to go to.
It's in Miami, so it might work.
He's enrolled. He doesn't like slip and slides, though. He's also $500,000 in debt.
Sorry, everyone. We're actually sorry.
Sorry, can you grab the cart? I'm gonna grab our slip and slide.
So, here's why people do this. People do this because they don't get in trouble. Now, if I ran the University of Miami and I saw this happen, I would have a conversation with the legal team of the university, and I would find the absolute worst possible thing that you could do to these people, and I would do that. I would do the entire, I wouldn't just expel them. I would file a lawsuit. I would file as many lawsuits as I possibly could. I would do everything that I could possibly do to ruin their lives. There's a reality and there's a reason why they're doing this at University of Miami and not at some random place in the projects. It's because they think they can get away with it. That's the reason why. And I hate these people. These people are awful. They're terrible. They're so annoying. They're obnoxious. They think that everything wrong with society is in this video. I saw this too. I thought
I'd be so mad if I was a teacher, bro.
I saw this too. I thought this was pretty interesting. So this is insane. You don't even need to confuse the AI to generate these images. Releasing this as an actual paid product without any safety net is going to result in an expensive legal battle for X and Elon Musk.
Context. Twitter just released Grok 2, their new text-to-image chatbot generator. The drama sparked because at the moment Grok 2 has no restrictions or censorship on the user-generated prompts. Thus, a lot of people immediately started bitching about this gross lack of censorship, without realizing they are the ones giving these horrendous prompts to the AI bot, and then circulating the pictures.
So this guy says people are so subjugated and infantilized by big tech censorship, they can't possibly fathom tools without guardrails. By the way, this is the image.
By the way, since unlike Baldy's here, I don't want to get a community strike. I'll replace it with the most viral and funny ones. Hope you understand.
So this image really, this is kind of a, you know, not necessarily a good one, right? I mean, not necessarily a great thing to post, etc. What the fuck? Yeah, well, this is just how it is. It's crazy to me to think that, like, people are so used to being controlled by big companies that now they get angry when the big companies aren't controlling everybody. That's what's so crazy. You ready for this to be applied to politics? Yeah, it's insane, man. New Snow White. Oh, apparently, yeah, this is coming out. Yeah, here we go. Nobody needs that many rabbits.
So, whistle while you work. Whistle while you work.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
To be fair, she's way hotter. Well,
that's crazy.
Like, I asked myself, who's this for? I mean, is this for, like, are kids gonna watch this? Like, the only way that I can accept Disney doing this is the idea that they have to do it in order to maintain the IP. And so they're just doing this over and over. It's like they have to do this for like copyright law. I'll definitely tell you, like, this looks way, way, way fucking better than this bullshit. If like all of my friends wanted to see this movie and they're like, yeah, let's go see the new Lion King, I'd be like, all right, fine, we can go see it. But like a girl would have to be at least like a 9 out of 10 for me to want to take her to see this movie. Well, you're not pulling a 9? Well, I mean, I know that, but like if I did, that's how bad I would want it, right? Is I'd be willing to see this movie. You see what I'm saying? That's fucking bad, guys.
I don't think it looked that bad.
Is this about me?
In April of 2023, an anonymous post on 4chan went viral after it highlighted that one specific talent agency manages some of the largest online content creators in the world, something that on its own isn't too particularly surprising. What is surprising, however, is where this talent agency, Night Media, seems to be getting its money from.
Uh-oh.
Context.
Did you know that Asmongold and Mr. Beast belong to the same talent agency? And that they are both directly connected to Disney and Amazon? Today, I learned that a company named Night Media literally manages basically every single Zoomer e-celebrity, including Hassan Piker, Nico Lowell, Dream, and those guys. If you ever look at the YouTube trending tab, at least one of Night's talents will be up there. Night Media is just a subsidiary of Night Incorporated. Itself is valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars from venture capitalists and angel investors. Who owns Night? The CEO of Night Media is Reed Duschler. I don't know how to say his fucking name. Who formerly worked for NFL and then went on to be Dude Perfect's manager. The president of Night, Ezra Cooperstein, who is presently Full Screen Rooster Teeth, Lawmaker Studios. Got it. Ironically, neither of these guys are the real talent managers, as the position is for their 90-plus employees, including Andrew Pelosi, a former high-up influential.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So, yeah, I had no idea about this. Yeah, I actually had no idea.
As it turns out, this 4chan post was just the tip of the iceberg.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's the post? Yeah, there we go.
Night Media is a company that helps manage and represent various content creators and online influencers, most of which you've probably heard of. Their talent roster includes the top 3 English-speaking Twitch streamers in the entire world, Hassan Abi, Asmongold, and Kai Cenat. And also Kai Cenat's entire content team called AMP, which includes Plaqueboy Max, Phantom, Duke Dennis, Agent 00, and Chris Next Door, as well as many other top content creators on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, such as Safiya Nygaard, Dream, Nico Lowell, and up until just a few months ago, even Mr. Beast.
Yep.
Functionally, Night Media helps content creators in their pursuit of growth and success, while also hooking them up with brand deals and various sponsorships. That being said, beyond that, Night Media also receives an insane amount of money from outside investors.
It's actually not true. Usually, so the way that a lot of talent management companies work is that talent management companies generally don't have any insight or oversight over what talent does, because it's just simply outside of their purview and it's too much work, right? And so, like, why would you want to go around and tell people what to say and what not to say, etc.? And so the way that usually things go is that people generally join different talent agencies, and they join these things because of the different, like, propositions for making money, right? That's basically the way that it works, because obviously, like, it's hard to, you know, like, figure out with, like, some company about, like, how much money you're going to get paid, so you have an agent do that for you. That's the way it works. So it's not your experience, therefore it doesn't happen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, my direct experience with the thing that's being specifically talked about. Yes, absolutely. And this is also my experience because I'm an owner of a talent management company as well. That's correct. This is my experience.
For instance, in 2022, Night Media received over $100 million in investment capital from the Sheridan Group, also known as TCG, so that Night Media can continue to, quote, invest in creators and manage their roster of online social media influencers.
Yeah.
From TCG's own website, they claim to invest in companies that are seeking to, quote, define culture.
Of course.
Of note, in 2012, TCG received $200 million from investors led by the Providence Equity Group, and another $700 million from various undisclosed investors in 2019. On their website, the Providence Equity Group says, quote, our diversity and inclusion D&I committee leads Providence's efforts to build and preserve a diverse culture within our firm and assist in the diversity efforts of our portfolio companies.
Yep. Night Media comment really struck a chord. Yeah, I mean, I think that I feel like one thing is that the reason why it annoys me whenever people talk about this is because it is stupid people that don't know what they're talking about, presenting themselves as if they are thoughtful and insightful. And I always hate when stupid people get together and collectively agree that their stupid delusions aren't stupid. It annoys me. It does. And so that's the reason why it strikes a chord with me. Because I see a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking about, that draw conclusions. Like, is this really a big surprise that a big company is getting investment capital from other big companies? You could make this same video about any company. All of these companies are interconnected. That's the way it goes. You're painting with such a broad brush that effectively it doesn't matter what you categorize. Every place has some sort of, like lip service to diversity, equity, inclusion. They have to do that. Money shuffles around. Yeah. That's really every company that relies on public image. Is there always a conspiracy somehow? Isn't that the problem? I don't think necessarily companies that are investing in each other for it being a problem. I don't think this is really about me. Yeah, this is... I thought this was about me. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. AI and...
You love cannon farming? I'm a noob though, so I do it Varrock sewers on Moss Giants. I'm like top 200 for bio. Are you really? I've only killed I don't know why I can't say Birophytus. Anyway, I've only killed him one time. That's cool.
Influential social network, AI distribution, etc. Yeah, as somebody who's been, like, again, stay safe as somewhat of a blind spot when it comes to finance and economics. I don't see him acknowledge these factors in a lot of content. Well, I think this is really what the truth is, right? Is that premise here is a 4chan post. Stay safe is really holding all the straws while classic content dries up fast. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not, like, criticizing Stay Safe or whatever. But what I am saying is that people have a misunderstanding of how talent management works, and I understand it better than they do, period. I own a talent management company, and I've worked with companies like this for 8 years. I'm telling you, this is the way that it works. They don't like...
Toasty, I'm passing out. Good night, sleep well. Thank you for stopping by and watching, and I hope you have a good night, man.
Like telling people what content they need to make, because it's an extra level of management. Now, there are actually companies that do that for you. Like, for example, a lot of VTuber agencies do this. So, do you want to know one of the big reasons why we don't do that? It's because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of extra money. That's the reason why. So, no, that doesn't happen. It's not efficient to micromanage talent. No, it's not. And so you're going to switch them. If they have it becomes big success for Nice Media. Oh, I work with both of them. It's a complex thing, but it's like business stuff, and so it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't really like explaining it. People are confusing MCNs with talent agencies. Yeah. What do they manage now? Wait, so you're part of Night Media? Yeah, I'm represented by them. Absolutely. Yeah, basically, so like this is what happened. Is that, I met a guy, I got along really well with the guy. This is in like 2017 or so. whenever I first started streaming and everything. I met him like downtown Austin through like a friend, and he worked for.
Oh my bad. Are you on Twitch full screen? I am. Let me get the thing. I used to pin it. I haven't pinned it in a while. Wait, am I dumb? Why can't I find things when I need to find them? Okay. Alright, that's the Twitch. And then... Someone posted something funny in the Discord. And if anyone wants to join the Discord, that's the Discord, and then Twitch is right there. Yeah. Oh shoot, I forgot. Sometimes I forget I'm playing RuneScape. I'm not even gonna lie. Did I kill enough? I killed enough. All right, let's go get another task. Dude, I'm telling you, that's been like my life for like the past years. Watching Asmongold and Cinnamon Toast Kin. Who else? A bunch of RuneScape
I've
creators
said for
too.
years now.
Oh yeah, no, Moist Critical, and then playing RuneScape. What am I doing? Sorry, I got lost. Okay, I posted those. I gotta look at Discord later. Shit. Sorry. Hold on, we're getting back here. Add to group. Boom. Okay.
Or I think it was like WME or like another company at the time. And so like usually this is the way that a lot of people do things, and you can ask any other content creator, they'll probably tell you the same thing, is that content creators generally don't actually stay with agencies, they stay with agents. And so when that agent left that place and then they moved over to Night Media, well then I just moved over to Night Media with them. It's pretty simple. Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. Was his name Lucifer? Yeah, clearly. But yeah, and so the reason why I get annoyed by this stuff is that I think it's people with like a profound amount of ignorance that are talking about something that they don't have any experience in, but they're doing it inside of the context of thinking that they are like that they're like you know, like part of some kind of insider information. Like, I hate conspiracy theorists like this whenever I understand it better than they do, because it's like there are so many gaps and like obvious logical inconsistencies that don't make sense. Jet's brain dead? Yeah. And so that's why I get annoyed by it. They ain't piercing a veil? No, they're not. That's not... you're annoyed because it's about you. If it wasn't about you, you would be singing a different tune? Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, okay, so you're a believer. Let's go ahead and let's go through this.
You're a believer.
I'm not saying this way in your relationship, but there are many examples where agencies and managers control the content of their talent. Oh no, you're definitely right about that. Yeah, sure, sometimes that happens. Of course I'm annoyed that it's about me. People are calling me fraudulent and they're saying that I'm a paid agent of some Jewish media campaign. Why would I like people saying that? You control the space lasers? I do. I'll give the person a minute or two, and then I want to...
Skills.
Move on. They find your weak spots so they know what gets you frustrated. Well, there's a lot of things that get me frustrated that I make it very obvious for. Like, I don't really worry about people finding my weak spot or, like, finding something that annoys me. Because if somebody does something that annoys me, well, then I just ban them. It's not like... so, like, I don't need to worry about it. Like...
True.
Why would I worry about like, oh wow, somebody makes me mad? Okay, well then they just get banned and I don't think about them. Like, it's not really a big deal to me. But right, but are people being controlled by agency? You said that's actually not true. To stay safe, saying Night Media gives brand deals and received large investments. The video goes on to elaborate on that, but you closed out on it. Now you're insinuating what the video says without even watching it. So what part of this do you think that I... What part of this do you think that I don't understand or that I'm misrepresenting? Yeah, how does this work? You know, you weak spot, but you got the ban pot? Well, there's plenty of things that people can type that'll make me mad, and I'll just insta-ban them. Like, as I said before, like, I have a policy of any time that somebody tries to make me mad, I ban them. Just because they tried to make me mad. It's literally that simple. Like, just by trying to do that, because I don't want to be treated that way. And so why would I let that? I didn't say that. I said it's odd to insinuate what the video entails without watching it. Well, here's the reason why I did that. And let's follow some logic here. Stay Safe doesn't have any information about this at all. He doesn't know about it. He's not been involved with it. He's not represented by a talent agency. He's coming at this from a complete outsider's perspective. So the only information that he could have would be information from the 4chan post. I've read the 4chan post. To be honest with you guys, the guys at Night Media didn't know about it. I sent it to them. They thought it was fucking funny. So yeah. So there's no source at all.
Hold up, I gotta switch my headphones. Oh, Bill, what? My bad. Hold on.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it makes sense. Too many people trust their own thoughts? Yeah, exactly. It's much easier to think someone's evil and doing something shady when they're successful. Yeah. They can't explain it, so suddenly there's a chariot pulling the sun across the sky. How is this now such an emotional topic? I don't really think it's an emotional topic, but I'm just saying, like, in general, I think what ends up happening is that people that don't understand things, and I think this goes with, like, almost all conspiracies, is that people that don't understand things are more easily able to be taken advantage of by conspiracies. I think you're baiting schizos by not watching the rest of the video. Yeah, I know. It's a good filter. Weed them out. Yep, it absolutely does. You were saying what people don't know about. But I already did explain it. What did I not explain? I'm so, like, you can't even, like, do you even know what you're talking about? Look at this grammar dude's moron. Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of morons, so I figured I'd give it some time. Why not? How is it that you can talk shit in chat for like an hour? I can't type as fast as you can with the questions. Okay. I mean, how long is it gonna take though, right? I mean, damn. He's questioning your viewpoint when it comes to why furries are real people. Oh, they're not. Yeah, simple. Yeah, that was easy. I'm saying you didn't watch the video. You said you knew what the content was about? Yeah, I did. Of course. Because he's not an insider, he doesn't know any information outside of what was on the conspiracy post on 4chan. It's a 6-minute video. You're not going to be able to expose a company's monetization structure and, like, inner political workings inside of 6 minutes. It's not going to happen. I've already read the post. I know what it's going to say. Yeah, and also the reason why is I thought the video was about me. It wasn't about me. Was gaslighting myself? Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's move on.
Loving the new hair.
One of the most evil companies on the planet is Disney. I imagine the board of directors is a who's who of supervillains. You probably got Mickey Mouse right next to Lucifer in that seat. It is always shocking to see just how low they'll stoop for the sake of a couple extra doubloons. They're like a real-world Umbrella Corp, but instead of manufacturing the T virus that turns people into zombies, they manufacture the D virus that turns people into Disney defenders, where they'll always fight their PR battles for them and constantly empty their piggy bank for anything Disney slaps its fucking logo on. It's sickening, even when they are completely in the wrong. I've been following a story for the last couple days, and I imagine some of you have as well. It's a very sad story about a woman who had an allergic reaction and died after eating at a Disney Springs restaurant. And the holly jolly old assholes at Disney are arguing that because the husband signed up for a Disney Plus trial in 2019, he agreed to terms that would basically turn this lawsuit into toilet paper. To any sensible human being on the planet with a functioning frontal lobe,
a Disney Plus subscription? What? That's crazy.
You're probably asking yourself, how does a Disney Plus trial at all have any grounds for this lawsuit when the allergic reaction happened at one of Disney's parks? It's not like his wife had an allergic reaction to the dog shit Disney Plus is feeding them. She passed away because of a complete failure from the restaurant. It is entirely their fault. So the couple chose to eat at a restaurant called Raglan Road Irish Pub, and they told the waiter that she had severe allergies to dairy and nuts, and she was unequivocally assured the food would be allergen free. And they chose this restaurant because it is apparently very accommodating to people with allergies. So when the order...
That's really sad.
arrived, there was no allergen-free flags, so they inquired again if it was allergen-free, and were once again assured that they were.
That's really sad, bro. It's like, hey, I just want to make sure there's gonna be no poison in my food. Yeah, no, there's no poison in your food. I want to make completely sure, like, there's no poison in this food. No, there's no poison in this food. Okay, well, I'll eat it, and then you die. Like,
safe for her to consume. 45 minutes later, she had an allergic reaction. Even after administering an EpiPen, she had difficulty breathing, collapsed, and later passed away. And the husband is rightfully trying to sue Disney for this because it is a colossal fuck up here. And Disney's just dancing on her grave. They're just spitting on her memory by trying to toss out the wrongful death lawsuit, by trying to say that the husband signed up for a Disney Plus account in 2019, which has language that prevents them from being sued in this manner. It'd have to be through arbitration, meaning it's overseen by a neutral third party and not a judge. And also, he had apparently agreed to similar terms when purchasing a park ticket online in September 2023. So this opened up a massive can of worms here about all of the sneaky, scummy shit companies sneak into their terms when you sign up for services or if you purchase things online. You know that shit that every human being on the planet skips through with agreeing to terms and conditions? Yeah, it turns out sometimes there's some really awful shit in there. I wanted to wait before talking about this because I've been talking to a lawyer about it because I was very curious if there is any legs at all for Disney to stand on here. But I just couldn't wait because I've already seen a couple of conversations about why it's entirely this couple's fault for gambling with their food allergies. The state of the world is so fucking saddening.
They just went to eat.
How is it a gamble? So she was allergic to dairy and nuts, and this was made abundantly clear to the staff of a restaurant that is well known for being accommodating to allergies. Apparently this restaurant has a commitment to being very conscious of allergens. So they chose this restaurant for that reason and made it very clear multiple times that dairy and nuts were a problem. And they were assured multiple times that the food they had ordered was not going to pose any problems for that allergy. They did everything they could. That's not gambling, you absolute Cro-Magnon that are arguing that it's actually their fault, Disney's blameless. This is what I'm talking about with the D virus. People falling over themselves to try and take bullets for Disney. It is a fuck up from the restaurant and by extension, Disney. I know they have more.
What time is it? It is 5:00 a.m.
money than God, but even still, this is such an outrageous claim to be making because
Oh my bad. Do you think Sunfire Armor is worth it for your Slayer task? Where I prayed the whole time? Maybe? I don't know. I don't really know much about Sunfire Armor, to be honest.
Signing up for a Disney Plus trial should have no effect on what happens at a Disney park. That's not related at all. It shouldn't extend to that. Just imagine if that was normal. Let's say you're on a Boeing flight and all the screws on the flight all of a sudden just spontaneously pop off like a water balloon exploding, and all of a sudden your plane just disassembles itself in the air and you die. Everyone dies on board because the Boeing flight malfunctions, as Boeing flights are known to do these days. Well, what if Boeing said, that's a real shame about that, but, you know, we can't be held liable for this because every single...
Oh, yeah, I think it's better than, like, Proselyte and stuff. Like, way better, but it's also pretty expensive. Or at least to me.
One of them, when purchasing their tickets online, agreed that no matter what happens, it's going to have to go to arbitration, so sorry about that, but really condolences. I am super confident that wouldn't work. You can't just have this blanket statement of, whatever happens, not our fault. And you agreed to it. See, you said right here, doesn't matter. You're fucked. Like that can't work. And from what I've heard from a couple of lawyers that have talked about it online, as well as a couple conversations I've had, this doesn't really protect Disney, but this has become so common in contracts as a way of trying to weasel big corporations out of liability. But it's still scary because it does give them some leverage to fight on. It gives them an angle, and with the amount of money they can pour into defending themselves, it's going to make it very hard for normal people to fight back, even when Disney is 100% responsible for the tragedy that occurred. But at least Disney's very apologetic here. We're deeply saddened by the family's loss and understand their grief. Given that this restaurant is neither owned nor operated by Disney, we are merely defending ourselves against the plaintiff's attorney's attempt to include us in their lawsuit against the restaurant. They're fundamentally going, oh, we don't know those guys. They just use our land. We're kind of just like a landlord. We are not associated with those scoundrels over there at all. No, not us. Nope. You're coming after the wrong guy, bub. Go after them. Not our fault. And if you do want to go after us, you can't really because your Disney Plus free trial from 2019. Did you forget about that? Eek, sorry. Now, the lawyer representing the family called it absurd and preposterous, saying that the case is based on the incredible argument that any person who signs up for an account, even free trials that are not extended beyond the trial period, will have forever waived the right to a jury trial, which is pure insanity. And they also argue that Mr. Piccolo, the husband, agreed to the terms of use for himself. But he's now acting on behalf of his late wife, who never agreed to the terms, which I think is a really strong point. I think the lawyer is right here. His wife never signed up for the Disney Plus trial, thus she shouldn't be subjected to the fucking shackle and chains that apparently every Disney Plus subscriber is now succumbed to. The lawyer then goes on to say, the notion that terms agreed to by a consumer when creating a Disney Plus free trial account would forever bar that consumer's right to a jury trial in any dispute with any Disney affiliate or subsidiary is so outrageously unreasonable and unfair as to shock the judicial conscience. It really is exceptionally evil, and from what I've read here, it's not exclusive to Disney. So apparently there was even a time where they were going to get close to protecting consumers from this kind of shit with like these arbitration clauses that get snuck into contracts that you sign up for unknowingly, because it is unreasonable to expect anyone to read all 65 pages of every terms and condition for every service you sign up for. There's no human being on the planet that has the chutzpah to sit through and read all of that. But apparently that ruling that was going to protect consumers got fucked in Congress. So it's just, corporations really do operate on a different level than everything and everyone else. So no matter how much they are pushed to stop this shady shit, they can always pay their way out of it so it never actually sees the light of day and they can continue to do the scummiest things. Another quote here is, most of the companies in the US require mandatory arbitration and allows them to, by and large, cut off much relief. Companies love it, but individuals who are harmed by these corporations really don't have any access to any form that would give them relief, as that's a real problem. It just limits consumers' options. It protects companies by fucking consumers in the face. The Supreme Court's view is, if you don't like it, don't sign it. Which is a super easy position to have for all the troglodytes in Supreme Court, because they're so ancient and archaic that these geriatric fossils don't sign up for anything or any service because they don't even know what a goddamn computer is. They're still learning about that mystical, magical thing called the cyberspace and the internet. So they don't even know what the fuck this is. All they need to know is what the corporations tell them they need to know. But every normal person in the world all has different services that they have to sign up for. I'm not talking about just like entertainment services. Like, no one needs to have like a Netflix account or anything, or Epic Games account or something. But even just like, I remember 10 years ago when I was in my apartment, there was an online sign up I had to do that had pages upon pages upon pages of terms and conditions. And I didn't read through all of them. I feel like most people don't read through all of them. Banking online, all types of services that are literally required for most normal people all have tons and tons of terms and conditions, and they are probably sneaking in some truly heinous shit. And this story right here helps shine a light on some of it and how unreasonable it is. And the Supreme Court saying, if you don't like it, don't sign up for it, is just, that's not realistic. It's just not at all. But yeah, anyway, this shit is super horrible. Disney super sucks. That's about it. See ya.
Disney sucks. Alright, see ya.
It's a dark...
So this has been a...
Let's do this one.
part of a showcase that they're going to be putting out tomorrow. So Crimson Desert, we've heard about Black Desert. This is the same developer, but it's more of a single player focused game. I don't know if there's going to be any synchronous gameplay like Monster Hunter or anything like that. I have no idea. But what I do know is this is a game coming out and it's going to have at least a focus on single player. So yeah, we're going to take a look at it, and this is a boss fight, actually, or actual real boss fight. Let's take a look at it. Here we go. On a baseline note, this game has looked good enough to where, like, it's a good single-player game. So far. Let's see this. Okay.
Are those the kids over there?
Yo, what's up, Sipanza? Sipanza?
The townsfolk will suffer his deathly wrath.
All right.
The spirit will punish us all.
All right.
Halt. What? This don't concern you, outsider. Where are the kids? He's here to take the spirit's children.
This...
Kill him quick before we incur his wrath.
Okay.
We cannot let him take the children.
This is just a cinematic. This is fun. Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Nice. Okay. So you can like talk to people or kill them?
You got any idea
That's
what
cool.
you're doing?
I think.
The spirit will punish us all. Why on? The spirit of the mountain! Over there!
Is that the Yeti?
We've all gone and doomed ourselves!
Yeah, it's the Yeti.
Shit.
Yeah. That's clever. I like when things like that happen in video games and they make sense.
That's so funny because most of the time it's just like it does not make sense.
It's like a really small thing, but it makes it feel like you're in an experience. Let me I'm gonna do as much as I can, right? It's okay. It's not great, it's okay. They got a mini-map where my camera is, by the way. Okay, okay. All right. Okay.
Damn it.
Let me guess his face too. Yeah, he got a full health bar again.
Oh, you posted a picture of your fit. Was this some firearm? That actually looks kind of cool. I'm not even gonna lie. I just really the face does it. Like the helmet, it looks like your smiling sun face. That's so funny. Can I bring this over? Oh, I can. Okay. Yeah. I can't get over that face. That's so funny. I didn't know it was a smiling sun.
Okay.
Is it just me, or does this look like every fighting game? Like I feel like I've seen this game so many times.
He dead now? Yeah, looks like he dead. Yeah, he probably dead now.
Did he just rip his jaw?
See why the
It's like Monster Hunter, but crazier.
bandits were scared to death.
All right.
Why wouldn't you just run away from it? It's like go hide, bro.
Yeah, I think this is like a 6 or a 7, to be honest with you guys. I don't think it's really that good. I want to talk about some of the reasons why I kind of have a little bit of criticism for this. Is that, like, for example, whenever you're trying to dodge out of something, and there's like things that are falling from the sky that like it impacts your character's movement and it impairs your character's movement, and there's no indicator, they just happen randomly. I feel like that's an annoying game mechanic. It's just fucking obnoxious. And so, like, if you get hit by one of those and then the boss hits you, it's like, okay, well, what the fuck, right? And so, like, the two ways that you solve that are you either make the game so easy that it doesn't matter, or you just expect people to do it over and over. And so, like, I look at a lot of the other, like, impact mechanics and things like that, and,
Yo, I love watching number go up. Watching number go up is probably my favorite. I would say that's probably my favorite thing to do.
Like, for example, the slams, I think they're, like, really not that great. I think that basically, so, like, there are two things that matter inside of, like, combat inside of a video game. And I think that it's playability and style. So if you look at the two, like, kind of very big differences, right, is you have, like, Dark Souls 1 that has, like, every game has a style to it, but it's not stylized. Dark Souls 1 really isn't a stylized game. It's a very like grounded, fundamental, like I guess like European Gothic dark fantasy, like fucking medieval game, right? That's it. And then you have on the level of style, you have things like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, you have Final Fantasy 16, you have like I
lost my Dragonfire protection. Fuck.
I would say even Elden Ring, right? I think Elden Ring is like the pinnacle of like 10 on style and 10 on combat quality. Like, I think also, like, Dragon's Dogma 2 is, like, really high up there. But, like, if I look at this combat and I compare it to, for example, like, the Kadan first Berserker game, I think the Kadan game completely clears this in pretty much all ways. I think that stylistically it's more interesting. I think that visually it looks better. This is kind of messy, in my opinion. And I also think that the mechanics are more easily readable and they look more satisfying. So and Devil May Cry 5, you know, again, like that's I mean, there was literally a style meter in the game. And so I look at this and I think to myself, this seems like a game that I'll play, but it doesn't seem like a game that I'm going to have like a lot of really fond memories of in the same way that I do of like Elden Ring or Dragon's Dogma 2 or 1 or Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance or Final Fantasy 16, right? Right now, what this seems like is it seems like a generic fantasy, medieval European, exploration game where you fight through a lot of the obvious tropes, and it's just kind of average. It's above average, and like again, as somebody who's the target audience for a game like this, it's still something that I would choose to play. But at the same time, I just don't really see it being this isn't a game of the year contender, right? At least not based off of this combat. I've always thought, and this is, I think, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think that 2015 was a really long time ago. And when people talk about how great it's not Dragon's Dogma, Black Desert Online combat is, I think that if you actually compare it to a lot of the modern, combat games, some of the combat games are garbage, but some of them are absolutely not. And I don't think that Black Desert Online's combat has evolved and is as nearly as good as people think that it is. I think that it's very clunky. I think movement in this game feels kind of, it looks like it's stilted, right? It's like, you know how like in Dark Souls 1, you could only move in 8 directions? It's like, it's not omnidirectional. This is like a nuanced thing, right? But like that's just the way the game works. I think this game is going to have kind of the same feel to it, but it's going to lack the methodical.
Oh my bad, I'm putting the face cam back in a minute.
Like playing chess, almost turn-based aspect.
I had to check my phone and I use my phone as a camera. Get me the fuck out of here.
Of Dark Souls 1, because it's just going to have the fast-paced combat, except for you're still playing with these ankle weights on. And so, yeah, 8 equals omni. No, I said it didn't have omnidirectional. That's what I said. And so, yeah, that's the way that I feel about it. And, yeah, and to be fair, it doesn't need to be peak. A game doesn't need to be peak, but I think that if they want to make that, like, I'm giving feedback on the game. I'm saying, like, this is good enough for me to buy the game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll buy this game, I'll play this game. Even if I wasn't a streamer, I would buy and play this game. Sure. But, like, the level of excitement that I would have for it would not be, like, where, like, with Black Myth Wukong or Dragon's Dogma 2 or Final Fantasy 16 or, obviously, Elden Ring. I feel like I use it so much, it's, like, overused. Like, it's not like a game that I'm counting down the days for and I'm like watching every update about and thinking about, Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, I'm not thinking about it that way, That's fine, though. Not every game can be that good. No, but I think that the game does take unnecessary L's with certain things, like just the way that hit collision works in this game, I think is kind of mediocre. And I think that they really should go back to the drawing board and think a little bit about how hit detection and combat works, because I don't think BDO is as good as the player base thinks that it is. I don't. I think that, like, there are certain things about BDO that are phenomenal and amazing, but if you made BDO again in the year 2020, like, basically, BDO's combat, when it came out, it was like Elden Ring. It was fucking insane. It was fucking amazing. It was unbelievably fucking amazing. But that was a long time ago. And it's not there anymore. And I think that it's evolved. Yeah, exactly. 2014. I don't remember. I played it when it came out in the West. So I'm not sure exactly. But that's generally what my opinion. Which particle effects should we put in the game? The answer is yes. Yeah, exactly, right? A Jon Snow sneak we've all been waiting for. Yeah, I mean, again, I just, expectations for this game, I would say that they're definitely not, like, did this move my bar up or down? It moved it down. Definitely moved it down. And so, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Videos dragged down by an exhausting grind. Yeah, but I think gameplay matters the most. Gameplay is always what matters more than anything. But again, like my expectation was like very high. Now it's slightly lower, but it's still high enough to where I would be excited about the game, just not that excited. Why are we comparing an MMORPG to a single-player action game again? Let's compare BDO's combat to WoW or Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, I'll tell you this. I think classic WoW's combat is better than Final Fantasy XIV or BDO. I do. I think it feels better. Like, for example, like, there's, like, little things in BDO where it's, like, you can't move diagonally as fast as you can move in forward. That, to me, feels really bad to play. Get good? Well, I would say that they should get good and make a direction system that feels better to play. Yeah, real-life movement? No way. That's a terrible argument. Real-life movement in a game with dragons? I don't want to hear about how things are real-life movement.
How many pets do I have? I have one pet. It's actually kind of crazy. I have one pet. It's the rift, or what is it called? It's the little rock guy that you can change the color of the center of him by taking him to the altar. And I have him as the soul rune color. So I'm proud of him. But yeah, it's my only pet. And then I have a hellcat and a rock.
Movement. It doesn't feel good to play and it sucks. You hated BDO from the start? No, I didn't. I was level 54 when 55 was the level cap. I was in the top, like, I would log in and I would be on the growth board. I played the fuck out of the game. Like those Sousons or whatever the fuck, like, I live there. And so that's the way that I look at it. And I think that Crimson Desert, as I said, you know, it's okay, but not great. Anyway, we'll move on.
What is it?
And they have made an anime of Valeria. Kind of interesting. So we'll take a look at it. Here we go.
When we are young, we are taught to revere the light. But when I turn to it, I see only fire. The fire of pain, of loss, the choices I made.
Quel'Thalas. Yeah.
Home. Until the Horde threatened everything.
Ooh.
My family was sworn to protect it. And protect it we did.
You had milk and beer? That sounds gross. Like, not at the same time, right? You just, like, you had the milk earlier and then drink beer, right?
This is Sylvanas' sister, by the way.
We fought together. We fought as one.
And Valera.
Just imagine just sitting there, like, drinking a beer and then taking a swig of milk.
But the conflict here was growing.
Who won Sylvanas? Yeah, I think so.
Pulling my sister and I apart.
At least you didn't have Taco Bell.
That's good. This is actually pretty good.
How can you leave? You would choose the Alliance over Quel'Thalas, our home.
It's not just our kingdom at risk. If the Horde isn't beaten back, others will fall. I have to go.
But you're abandoning your family.
I am doing this for our family. I lost a sister that day. Had I known that my actions would curse Sylvanas to her fate, would I have chosen differently?
I mean, real talk, bro. Arthas was the fucking Lich King with Frostmourne. Like, to act like Sylvanas or Ilaria would have even had a chance against the motherfucking Lich King, who was the prince, fucking master paladin. Like, they would have got, he would have wiped the floor with both of them. It wouldn't have even been close. Let's be honest.
I left my home to fight this war to the end.
Not Lich King yet? Yeah, but yeah, Frostmourne.
That fight would take me. Yet despite the war, I found my life's true love, Turalyon.
Yeah.
And together we fought side by side. Until
this is the guy who had his weapon blocked by Illidan's hand.
But beyond the boundaries of our world, our enemies grew powerful.
You can make your stand here. Why risk marching into the unknown?
Our only choice is to take the fight to them before it's too late. Should we not succeed,
I will keep him safe. Just come back.
We'll return before you know it, Eritor.
This is the guy that's in Hellfire Peninsula.
Had I known that I would not see my son again until he was a man himself, would I have still left? I had given everything for this fight. The only thing left to give was myself.
Yeah, they were in some time dilation shit, where they were like stuck there for 1,000 years or some shit.
Defeat the darkness.
This is in Argus.
I had to embrace it.
This is the 7.3 quest line. I remember this. From Seat of the Triumvirate.
But at what cost? Turalyon, who had known me, loved me, fought beside me, now saw me differently.
What have you done?
The shadow. It saved us.
No. I would rather have died than see you fall to evil.
Turalyon didn't understand.
He's an idiot.
But I could not fault him.
I mean... if you were in that situation, I'd just be like, alright, well, I'll take some darkness.
If I had known that embracing the shadow would push him...
Like, are you just watching her leave? Just become dark.
...away, would I have sought another path?
He always been a bitch.
No. All of the things I did for a reason. War is sacrifice. And I have sacrificed everything to protect those I love. To keep them safe. And if it takes sacrificing myself to protect our world,
That's
I
her
will
song.
not hesitate. I am a soldier of Azeroth.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I think that was alright. Female Illidan. Yeah, a little bit, right? I would say so. What did you guys think? Reminds me of this.
You know, I played World of Warcraft for almost, how long did I play it? Oh, my bad. I'm just, like, doing stuff. I played World of Warcraft for, like, a good 10 years, and I know almost nothing about the lore. Good night, man. Thanks for stopping by, chatting and everything.
Zelda art? Yeah, I think some of the,
Hope you have a good night.
Like, you know, it's like you have like some pretty good scenes, right? Where it's like the tree getting burnt. That's like a, you know, kind of a reference to Sylvanas that's gonna burn the tree later on.
I have liked this the animation thing. I forgot they did a. I can't even find words right now. Sorry. They did an animation thing for World of Warcraft. I don't know if this is the same thing, but I've only watched reaction videos of it. But it looked really good.
And then it's like her turning into Sylvanas. What is this here? Let me see if I can find it. No, it was actually like, I guess, before then. Yeah. I guess this is like her being undead or something like that. I don't know. See if I can find it.
I lost a sister that day.
Yeah.
Had I known that my...
Yeah. That's like, yeah. So that's actually Sylvanas. They made her undead. Or, what's his name? Arthas. Arthas did that. The Banshee? Yeah, basically. It was the Void? Was that the Void? Yeah, it was the Void. That's whenever she was in Argus. Like, this was in the Legion storyline. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest, right? Turalian's always been like a massive fucking bitch. It's actually crazy how much of a bitch he is. Like, literally obsessed with a fucking wind chime. Illidan disenchants the wind chime. He goes to kill Illidan. He gets his sword blocked by Illidan's hand. Like,
the Demon Hunter cinematics were fire. Yes, they were. They were freaking awesome.
It's just fucking pathetic, bro. Like, it's just pathetic. Like, and then getting mad at her for like being like part of the Void, bro. He what do you call it? He a simp, man. He's a stepping stone character. Yeah, reality check, exactly. Can you show that cinematic? Yeah, I'll show like the just the end of it.
Light will heal your scars.
I am my scars.
The light is your destiny.
My destiny.
And these are like, this is like a godlike being, like an Naru. Like, these are like almost demigods. Illidan just fucking, bro. Illidan had enough. He just killed it. There's the guy.
Betrayer!
Sad, bro.
Your faith has blinded you. There can be no chosen one. Only we
wherever this shit came out.
save ourselves.
Yeah, so Turalian's always been a bitch. That's the way I see. He always been a bitch, man. Paladins are a joke. I'm rerolling Demon Hunter. Yeah. It's like, I feel bad for Paladins. Because, like, when was the last Paladin W that, like, WoW had? Uther? Yeah, it was a long time ago, man. And even Uther was a bitch. I think Turalian was, like, the only Paladin that wasn't a bitch. When I think about it, like, was there any other Paladin that... Well, I guess Alexandros Mograine, right? The original Ashbringer. But I would say even... No, I would say Tyrion was even more of a G than that. Yeah, Patrick. Exactly. McConnell. Paladin W in Warcraft 2. Pre-corruption Arthas. Yeah, like... Bro, like, they would not have stood a chance against Arthas. Like, let's be honest. But anyway, this was really good. It was a really good cinematic. I think they did a pretty good job with this. It's a good new art style, etc. Like, they had some pretty cool scenes, especially for, like, fans of the old games, right? This is, like, Warcraft 2 and shit. This is really cool, and I hope that they keep doing more of these. I do. This was awesome.
Day for humanity, Dane. Maybe it's a dark day for humanity, Dane. maybe the darkest times that have ever existed for us all. One of the worst crimes against humanity ever has been committed. A man stole 2 PS5s in broad daylight. Oh, no. Do you know how long I had to wait to get a PS5, Dane? Oh.
I'm still waiting for one, okay?
Oh my God. You know how long I've been waiting for any good games to come out on it that I can't play on my PC?
Ooh, and that's why I'm still waiting.
That's the real crime.
For real.
Go through all the trouble to get a PS5.
Exclusives?
You're like, what am I going to play on this? I got everything already. I guess I can play. There's like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 exclusives, and after you play them, you're like, okay. I feel like the PS5, we could just skip it and like just go straight to the Actually, they should just start putting everything on PC first, because that's where everything's going anyway. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna get off my high horse here about the PC master race. I know you peasants out there playing on your consoles from the comfort of your couch. Pathetic. Let's see how this man stole 2 PS5s in broad daylight.
Pierce County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to an armed robbery at a GameStop store in South Hill, Washington.
Robbery?
Armed?
Around 4 a.m. that same morning, the store had already been burglarized when a vehicle crashed into the front of the building.
Goodness. What? This just ran straight in there.
Wow. That's a big gate, too.
Dude, this is like... So me and Dave worked at GameStop a long time ago, right? We had these gates in the store that we worked at. I remember having to close them and everything. So it's good to know that it can't stop a car.
That car's got to be like around the corner, though. It
when
can't
did the
have went far.
Yeah, right. When did it's an armed robber, but it's like 4 a.m. He just like drove into the GameStop. Who did
with his gun out?
Yeah. Who did he? It must have been doing like the that. Remember those like the big stock that you have to go and count everything in the store until 3 a.m. They do it like once every 3 years or something. Got it.
Yeah, inventory.
Inventory, that's it. Yeah, boo. They were doing inventory. Rolled up in there. Give me your PS5s.
At least 2.
One for me and one so I can sell on eBay. Yeah.
Been boarded up since then, making it vulnerable when a completely different individual entered and carried out the robbery.
Oh! So somebody else. Some dude ran his car in, and then later on, the guy that had the gun showed up. Oh,
nice.
34-year-old male named Randall was first seen entering the store to ask what had happened before leaving. He soon returned with his hand in his sweatshirt, claiming to have a gun.
Boy, he's in there. This dude had some trade-ins, and he was mad about it. He came back to get revenge.
They offered him $217 for 4 games.
For 4 games, they're going to turn around and sell for $30 a piece.
Ordered the store staff to the back room and told them to grab items. He proceeded to steal over $1,500 worth of merchandise, including 2 PS5s and Switch consoles. Before
we got some. That's the Switch. Come on.
Hey.
That's the real value right there.
That
Switch
is
pretty,
man.
It's pretty good.
Not bad.
My poor Switch. I got one like right when they came out, right? And I can hear the fan in the back of it just struggling. It ain't got much longer to live.
Bro, my speaker sounds like I can barely hear noise coming out of it, but it's trying real hard.
It's like you're over there playing. It's like they'll trade it in. You know, they'll give you $5 for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Deputies soon arrived on scene to get a suspect description and direction of travel.
Boy, the GameStop got robbed.
He's like, oh no, I got stock there, boy.
Gotta protect it. Diamond hands, baby.
Man.
Oh my God, is this spot? Hang on. Bruh. Right by the subway. I swear.
Why, dude?
You use VR headphones with your Switch? What? That's cool.
They're strategically placed.
Every time, right by Subway.
So convenient for lunch break.
I know, man. Yeah, get to walk right down there, freaking get me a sub.
They swept all the glass aside at least to help all the customers come in.
Yeah, what did they just continue the regular operating hours?
It looks like it.
Just kept.
Well, I mean, if you're a business, you're like, bro, I'm gonna lose money on this. I gotta make my money back.
Just kept selling. Like, yeah, store's gotta open. We gotta make we gotta get our numbers.
Gotta get them title and hands done, bro. You better get in there.
Oh my God. Jeez, when did we work at GameStop? It was like what, 15, 20 years?
03?
Jeez, so
That's
old
when
now.
Yeah, I started 02. Ooh.
I remember like everyone that played video, like you, oh, I want to work at GameStop. I want to work with video games. It's a retail job, and just all it does is make you hate people.
Yeah, for real.
I'm sure you guys already know about the break-in last night. Oh, this is like this. Yeah, so this was already like this.
This was last night, yeah.
Yeah, someone
This dude is like, oh.
He did not know.
Man, dude's got his Red Bull ready to go. What a gamer.
He just clocked in, bro.
through last night. Did he have a black backpack? He might have. He was walking on the radio down that way then.
So he took PS5s, like multiple of them?
Yeah.
So did you, I mean, he would have been.
a backpack.
Bruh, PS5s are, boxes of those are big. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
He didn't stuff those in a backpack.
We'll be back.
Wear a hoodie, right?
That's a lot of stuff, yeah.
Face tattoos.
And chains. If you want to talk to him, I'll go take a look real quick.
They called for Canine Ice and his handler to assist in locating Randall.
Oh, I got the dog out there too. Gonna sniff him out.
Yeah, sniff that gold chain. Sniff that face tat.
The dog is gonna be confused. That dog's gonna go into GameStop and just get hit with that funk. And he's gonna be like, that nerd stank.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't have any Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering players in there recently. That dog's just gonna go into a coma.
They're Smash players, man.
Ooh.
As deputies tracked past 2 schools and into the woods, they located a shopping cart along a fence with the 2 PS5s and several merchandise belonging to GameStop.
Oh, dude's got the shopping carts out there. Looks like he hit
left
up.
it all in it.
Must be nearby. Like, what is it? Okay, they're all thrown over the fence. Got some some sanitary wipes in here, a fly swatter. This dude's been robbing. He robbed Dollar Tree before he hit this GameStop up.
What was that signal? Was that the... Oh, thorns!
Canine Ice then indicated on a fence, suggesting that Randall may have jumped over it. With this information relayed, it was confirmed that a neighbor had also seen a man jumping a fence.
Ooh, the dude went through the woods and jumped a fence. Man, that dog is actually doing really
Pretty
good.
Yeah. Imagine if the dog just went and used the bathroom and they did all this. He's just sniffing out a good place to poo.
Checking in the shed. Is he in there? I kind of wonder like where the limitation. I guess they can't go into someone's house, right?
Yeah.
Unless like,
right.
I mean, if like the window's been broken, then I'm sure they can. But like, I kind of wonder like where the line is legally on that, what they can and can't do when they're trying to find somebody.
They persisted in tracking the vicinity where he might have jumped over the fence when Canine Ice displayed interest in another yard.
I just saw that ball go by, you know. Oh, look at this backyard. What is this?
What is this?
Got the trampoline and the slide. Paradise.
Yeah.
This is being like a 10-year-old kid here. Oh my, it's like a fort? Oh,
dude.
It's like a castle.
They just took this straight off the McDonald's playground back in the day.
This is where all the birthday parties are happening. Yeah, make sure you ain't in there. That would be awkward. The kids go out to play and there's just like this dude, you know, Mike Tyson's in there all face tatted up.
On the Switch.
Yeah. Like finally.
Hello, police.
Wow, look at, they got Mortal Kombat back here.
What is this, dude? This house is the jam.
When it rains. Well, I guess, okay, there's a over there too. If it rains sideways, well, watch out, unplug your arcade.
Right.
When they searched a backyard shed, they noticed the objects inside were stacked oddly. Despite announcing themselves, there was no response until a deputy decided to take a closer look.
The dude's in the shed in the backyard here.
Show me your hand. Come out. Show me your hand.
Let me see your hand.
He's in there.
He found him.
What a game of hide and go seek.
Wow. Of course, all you had to do was go find the house with the MK machine and you found the guy. You know? Imagine.
Yeah, they knew a nerd was here. Now imagine this isn't the dude, right? Imagine someone is just playing hide and seek and they thought they found the best hide and seek.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What is this? Like was a Wi-Fi password on his arm? Like CDXCY? Drag him out.
Oh, what the f, dude? Why am I under arrest? I didn't even do anything.
I'm trying to imagine the scenario.
I was just playing hide and go seek with my kid.
It's just a man chilling in his shed.
I was just chilling. I wasn't even doing anything. I was just hiding in my shed for literally no reason. What are you guys doing?
Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah, good boy.
You're taking the wrong person to jail, bro. Yeah, you are. No, the dude that stole the running down the road right now, bro.
Wow.
Wow.
If he was just a random person, how would he know that anyone stole anything?
Oh, yeah, what a convincing story. They haven't mentioned anything about anybody stealing anything. Like the dude that stole everything, the guy that stole 2 PS2s, makes like a whole list. He's running down the road right now. Man, he's got a signature Levi on.
Oh, yeah.
What does that say? Pair of Thieves?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Pair of Thieves. The Pair of Thieves underwear. This is not sponsored. Who are these people? Dang. This dude must be loaded. He's out here paying $50 for 4 pair of underwear. Jeez.
Wow.
Hey, he's out now robbing GameStop? Come on, man.
Still got me on camera doing anything.
They do have. Oh, he got rid of his hoodie too. He doesn't have the hoodie in the backpack anymore.
Oh, you're right.
Go outside. You want to use your phone?
The cops are like, God dang it. You checked the wrong yard. We could have got him. Oh. They're just having a good time. Now imagine you're the homeowner and you come home and like everything's just thrown out of your shed.
Your MK2 machine's on.
Call the cops. I think I've been robbed. Send the police.
I inspired you to do Slayer. I did good today, then. I did a good deed.
They're gonna get these cuffs off me, homie.
Oh. God.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet they are.
He just hit him with a homie. You can get these cuffs off me, homie.
Get cuffs off! Is that what we're doing?
Is that what we're doing?
Take his pants.
Put them back on.
Sorry.
Cuffs off me!
Sir, we'd like you to calm down.
Get his cuffs off me right now!
You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
Stop resisting.
I love whenever people are like, no, I'm not under arrest. It's like, bro, you're being held down.
No,
I'm not.
No, you. The figure four, leg lock. Oh, my wood. Look, guys, I usually sit in my gamer chair. I'm not this limber. Oh, you're killing me.
Oh, they throw him in the cop car just like this.
Just hog time and throw him in.
Yeah,
Get up like that. Stop. I'm serious.
You're not really cooperating with me.
I will if you undo the things off my feet, please.
He's like, oh, I'll cooperate. If you take the thing off my feet, I'll stop.
Now he's crying, yeah.
I'll stop, bro. I'm
He's
so
tough
sorry.
no more.
I was so tough and you guys don't care. Oh, no.
I did anything, man. I fell asleep in the shed, dude.
He fell asleep in the shed.
I have narcolepsy. My bad. I was just sorting through and stacked all the stuff up in front of me, behind me, and fell asleep.
Homeless, dog. I'm tired.
Oh, he's homeless. He's also homeless.
There we go.
What's he even gonna do with the PS5s?
There we go.
What a waste.
He doesn't have he doesn't have a home.
You can't even play them, bro.
I swear to God, dude, I'm not joking. I'm not gonna run enough.
Seriously, one shot. We'll give you a shot.
One shot, please. I promise.
One shot.
Give him a shot.
I'm not gonna.
They'll give him a shot. Like they just tie him like that just so he can just leave him there until he calms down. They're like, all right, you've talked us into it. We'll set you up. All right, here you go, buddy.
1, 2, 3. One more chance. Stand up. Stand on your feet.
I'm trying. feet are together.
His feet are tied together. His pants are down. What do you mean stand up?
Yeah. Yes, I just notified both schools. We got the guy Kanan. Well, we found him hiding in the back of the shed. So.
Oh, they had the nearby schools locked down. Okay, that's good. This is the dude running out here. You've locked the schools.
Know what's going on? Yep, you're welcome.
All I did was go in and ask the guy what happened, bro. That's all. And my buddy went back in after, tried to rob him, dude. That's it.
Oh, so now it's his buddy that tried to rob him. Okay. Yeah, he just went and asked what's wrong.
You're going to jail for robbery in the first degree and kidnapping.
Robbed nobody or kidnapping you.
And
I never robbed or kidnapped. Now you kidnapped the PlayStations. Okay, they're. How dare you? Lock them up forever.
You just kicked my window.
I kicked the seatbelt off. They're too tight to hurt my hands, bro.
So we start screaming and kicking?
I asked you to help me. I asked you to help me and you said no.
You screamed
no,
at
lady.
me.
I asked you to help me.
Man, being a cop or a teacher, I just could not. I couldn't do it, bro. I would shoot someone. If I was a teacher, I'd shoot someone. If I was a cop, I'd shoot someone. Like,
they're gonna hog time again.
Here we go. He's about to get tased.
Don't try to play tough now, because I
going
did.
back in the hog time.
I asked you nicely.
You already tried to kick
You're going back in the hog time. Yeah. One chance. They gave him one chance.
Don't. Back on the ground again.
Go
Shut
on
up.
your
I'm trying, dude. These cuffs are tight,
I'm
bro.
trying, bro.
That's all, man. I just
Straighten
want
your
the cuffs on
Straighten
I
your
can't. It's not the cuffs.
Jesus, this guy. Dane, I think these cops took it personally that he stole these PS5s.
Dude.
As they should have.
As they should have.
This is just street justice right here. Give it to him. Hog time.
You act like because you're a cop and a woman, you got a badge and you're better than me?
Hey, come on, buddy. Come on.
You help me up, please. Come on.
You think you're better than me? Can you help me up, please?
Then drag him. So, grab here.
Oh, they are putting him in like that.
They're just putting him in just like that, Dane. Put him in.
Wow.
Dude, you guys are going to take me to the f***ing hospital, dude.
Or jail.
No hospital.
No hospital, bro.
That's my f***ing head.
Oh my God.
Slam his head in the door a couple of times. Oh my gosh.
My head, bro. My head's in the f***ing door.
Move your head.
I'm too tall for this. Ah! What the f***?
Oh my God. This man will never steal again. I feel it. Oh my God.
Oh, you got him hog tied in there.
I've never seen that.
Upon running his info, it was discovered he had an active warrant for his arrest.
And he has a warrant. Oh, God.
Of course he does.
He's just sitting in the shed, minding his own business. It's not even his.
Bro.
Deputies also reviewed surveillance footage from the store, confirming that Randall was indeed the correct person in custody.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's definitely him.
Unique fashion choice of wearing his pants below his ass allowed them to match his underwear to that of the
It's because he was sagging. They matched his underwear.
No way.
Pair of thieves, bro. Pair of thieves.
along with his tattoos. While en route to the jail, he persisted in kicking the windows of the squad car and managed to free himself from the hobble. He continued to scream the entire ride and banged his head on the back seat cage.
So he's just back there losing his mind. Oh my God. As your average PS5 player would, that's
exactly
par for the course. PS5 player, I wouldn't expect anything different.
Not a PC guy, that's for sure.
Yeah. He's a PS5 peasant, console peasant. Meanwhile, the cops, they said 1v1 me on the Rift.
Randall was charged with felony counts of first-degree robbery and kidnapping unlawful imprisonment. The bail.
Hey, show me your hands.
What? Kidnapping? Who'd he kidnap?
What? Oh, maybe the guy. Maybe that counts when you kind of kidnap the guy.
Like took him to the back.
Open. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Hopefully he's still locked up as the PS5 thief should be. Good job, police officers. Slam his head in the door at the end.
That's my head.
Hope you
My hand. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. It's 6 a.m. I get a few hours of sleep. Thanks to everyone for watching and staying and chatting and everything. And you guys are amazing, and I love you all. And hope you have a good night or day or whatever it's about to be. All right, peace.